Appreciate everyone hanging out. The NFT Boxing King is here. Epic Wear NFT, as well as Dylan. I see you all out there. Appreciate you so much, family. We're going to start bringing some people up. Really, really would love if everybody would jump into their Discord, into their DM groups, anybody that you're connected with. We would love to onboard beautiful people into our Polygon family today. Had some amazing conversations last night with Reddit artists. They'll be flooding this gate here soon too. Man, oh man, what a quick joining by all you lovely, beautiful people. And I was worried about switching recording on. Silly me. All right, let's get it going here. I'm gonna invite some people up. Make sure you send out some DMs. If you're co-hosting, you know who you are. Please be hanging out with us here today. We appreciate you very, very much. Welcome, Dave. Welcome, Coin. Bringing up my co-host really quick, everybody. We're going to set up the room in a second. I'm going to turn on some music. But again, two things that you can do for me today, which would make this absolutely epic, right? Send out your own tweets, right? Your own tweets is higher engagement. It's making sure that your community knows that you're here directly. Obviously, we'll be posting some stuff up at the top, educational, bunch of awesome things that we want to make sure to get out about the Polygon community here, but make sure you're also put in your Discords, right? DM some people. I know I'm dropping that in my Discord. I'm offering our seed token out to all of our members here. We'll start pumping up the room. I mean, within 4 minutes, we're rocking with a beautiful 35 people, man. This is what community is all about. So I appreciate you all very much. I'm gonna flip on some music very quickly, and then we'll get it going. All right. Really quickly, I'm going to say hi to a few fan members. We're going to play one quick half song here before we get it going formally. Just so everyone knows, we have a very set schedule today. We actually amped things up to ensure that we have all the people that we wanted to up here. We have some people from many different communities coming out here. We have some OGs in the Polygon community. We have some new faces. We have a bunch of amazing members that are actually coming out from the Reddit community as well. So I want to make sure that they get the stage here because really this whole momentum started with everything that happened with the Avatar and the digital collectibles trend. The first hour of our space here, though, will be actually dedicated to Polygon education. So the first 12 to 1 here, EST, will be the overview of Polygon and why it's so important to us, why we're all on Polygon wallet, and why the overview totally matters, and exactly how you should be adding all these things to your MetaMask trust, all these things in general. We have some resources for that. We have market insights and the tech ran by our very good friend Dave Swingbank, who is tapped into everything that's being done on the OX Polygon side, from their Web 2 to Web 3 bridge that they're bringing over, everything in between. We'll overview the Reddit trend as well. I see a very new friend of mine, Tyler Faust, has already joined us. He's an amazing Reddit artist, and we'll be talking to him too. We have some overviews of the community and what we've already built. That second hour will be our Builders Spotlight, some amazing artists that we'll be bringing up. My Creative Owls, Jay is already up here. We have Taco Tribe, Manic Man, Skirpy, the Polygon Alliance, Dave, and the Goons will be talking. Awesome people here too. And then the Innovators Hour, that last hour from 2 to 3, we'll be talking to our good friend Droppies. NARB Trading will be coming. Warp and the Polygon DAO is having a discussion, as well as just some closing remarks and a couple different audience questions, right? We want to make sure this is an interactive hour. We're here to make sure that everyone has an avenue to really get an education on this, because I've said this 1,000 times in our spaces before. We are here to arm our communities with what Polygon is made to do, right? The gasless ecosystem, friendly to the environment, everything in between, as well as the scalability, that ability to build on this blockchain is really what we're all focused on here. And we believe we are seconds, days, months, years, whatever it may be, away from amazing things happening on our blockchain, right? You know, you hear these people at the higher level talk, Vitalik and all these people, they give love to layer 2 solutions because they know scalability and all these future endeavors that layer 2s are putting in are the future of how you bring blockchain technology to the world. So first and foremost, I'm going to say hi to my amazing co-host today. I'm going to kick it over to somebody that doesn't need much of an introduction. He is the community man. He is the captain of community. He's the admiral of everything that we do here. And I'm going to kick it over to our good friend, Dave Swinbank. Dave, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm really well. I'm so excited about this and the opportunity for people to meet new people, myself included, just try and share some information, share some knowledge. Good factor that we're all feeling a little bit this week. I had a long drive this morning, probably didn't get enough sleep last night, and I've had a good nap this afternoon in preparation. So I'm ready to go, Neil. Thanks.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, if you all haven't tapped in with Dave before, the education that Dave has provided, the captain of our community, you know, I call him a lot of different nicknames, but he's really here and he's built something special for all of us to make sure that we have an avenue to express ourselves, to gain this education. It really all started with with the Polygon Alliance is building with Beluga Bay and Dave Swinbank, the spaces he's hosting. And obviously in this market, we're going to see fluctuations, right? We're going to see people come and go, but the consistency that Dave has presented for us is really one of those examples that we always like to show, right? Because that is what this is all about. You know, Web3 is powered by a lot of things. Number one, it's powered by good people, and Dave Swinbank is one of them, but it's also the consistency that you can bring to it really will take you far in this community as well. So thank you so much, Dave, for being with us, taking some time out of your day, obviously. I stayed up pretty late in some Reddit spaces, making sure we're getting some amazing people up here, so I'm trying to wake myself up too. I've got the monster and the water, big water, little monster. So we're going to even those things out. We're going to get it going. I coached some lacrosse this morning already, so my blood's all pumping. We're rocking and rolling here. I do also want to shout out my other co-host, a very good friend of mine, somebody that I connect with on multiple levels from a creator standpoint, but somebody that I really believe deserves a spotlight here today as well. He'll be overviewing some stuff that he's building too. It's the one, the only, it's NFT Coin Laundry. How you doing, my friend?
We're great this morning. I am hyped up. I am doing the double monster right now. And then hour number 2 is going to be the triple water. So I'm going with that strategy. I'm super excited to be here. Super excited to see so many friendly faces and new faces in here. We got everyone from artists, builders, creators, innovators all in this space right now. And I can't wait to see this space grow. We got 3 hours to jive it up, jam it down. And I'm going to sit back right now and just listen to you work your magic, Nil. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, everybody. So really quickly, obviously, the overview of our entire space, like I said, it's to provide education. It's to provide a spotlight for the amazing artists that we have rocking and rolling here throughout the amazing Polygon community. But really our entire goal is to bridge this gap, right? The trend that is happening on Reddit right now, everybody having 3 million wallets opened up on their behalf, right? All those passkeys and all those seed phrases passed over. On top of that, all these amazing NFTs, and Tyler's down there. He can speak on this in about an hour. We're going to bring him up here too as well. Were airdropped to their community members and built on Polygon. So all these new users are interacting with our blockchain already. It would be foolish of us, right, not to provide that education behind why we think this blockchain will be around for the long term. So our goal here today, again, is to bridge that gap, let people know that there are people here already building, and we're here to provide them with that little extra education, anything in the avenue that we can provide them in that direction. And our entire goal, again, is to shed some amazing light on the things that are being built in our community. So before that, I'm going to play a 2-minute song, and I'm going to ask one more time for my amazing community to pump this out to your Discords, pump this out onto your DM groups, put another tweet out here for our community. We're already rocking with 54 beautiful members who want to get educated. This is a challenge for everybody out there, right? You are supposed to educate yourself in this blockchain tech, right? Trading NFTs, all these things you can talk about is step one. I know everyone joined this thing because they saw this monetary value that everyone's blowing up on. That's great, grand, wonderful, and I want us all to make millions in this space, but WAGMI in our community truly means dive into this tech, dive into this education, become the future consultants, advisors, whatever it may be, and bridge this Web 2 to Web 3 gap. So I'll start off, I'll play this last song. Feel free to retweet our room here at the top. Send something out to your friends. I know I'm texting friends IRL to make sure that they get up here and get some education, because this is something that I am far too passionate about just to share with the people that are online right now. I'm passing it out in my DM groups, my group me's, everybody. My mom's going to jump in here. Who knows who's going to join us today? It's going to be an amazing day, family. So I'll play one more song for us. I encourage everybody to shoot a few more DMs out, and then we'll kick things out. Coin and I will do a little bit of a review of the why Polygon, and then we'll start things off.
Stories to tell, see both sides like Chanel, see on both sides like Chanel. Swimming like school water, eating like I'm underworld. Have my tattoos in Shibuya, police think I'm out the underworld. I get snug, they can't hold my step on, they play my visa, my Amex and MasterCards. I got new money, and it's all cash. I got new bags, and they all collapse. Both sides of the town, both sides of the town. Three smoke rings in their house, streets no run for the well. OT diamonds is real, show them how to shine by themselves. I need a co-sign for your help, I need a bitch to grind on my belt. I know you need to drive for my belt, now you see the drive that it's sell. I'm act like on the ride cause it's sell, but it's sell. I split both sides like she do. Both sides like she do. Don't get slow. They can't hold my step on. They play my visa. My Amex and MasterCards. I got new money. And it's all cash. I got new bags. They all collect. See both sides of the 12. See both sides of the L. Three smoke rings in their house. Sleeps no grind for the well. OT diamonds is brown. Show them how to shine by themselves. I need a couple sign for your help. I need a bitch to grind on my belt. I know you need to try for my belt. Now you see it drive in itself. I'm not gonna ride cause it's sell, but it's sell. Both sides of the well. Both sides of the well.
All right. Fading out here. Very casual fade out. Not a great fade out, but we're going to live and laugh with it. So, first and foremost, again, I want to welcome everybody to our amazing Polygon community. If you are new to Polygon, welcome. We are here for open arms. We are here to make sure that you get educated. We're here to build with you. We're here to understand your why. And that's really the entire purpose of why I got into Polygon, right? As I started off, if you all don't know me, my name is Nil. I'm one of the co-founders of Atorians NFT. We're actually not going to talk about Atorians here because I'm not as OG as some of these other people that are building out here. My entire goal is to provide a platform for everyone else that's building and who I learn from. But I'm just I'm a 28-year-old from Cleveland. I've been kind of in this space for about a year now. I actually started in the DraftKings marketplace and the Top Shot and kind of getting into the trading card aspect of it. And when I got exposed to that, I said, okay, I understand why this is working. Let me dive into the technology behind it, right? Did a bunch of research, started floating around. I said, where do I get education on this stuff? How do I learn more, right? That was my entire question. And when I came over to Twitter, I found all these different communities. The very first one that I found was Beluga Bay. I think that was a very similar, story for a lot of the people that are up here too. They saw some amazing, cute art that Beluga was putting out, and they said, "Okay, what are these whales all about?" Right? Let's dive into it. Let's see it. I swept a couple off the OpenSea floor, just not even knowing anything, right? And then I dove into and I started seeing these spaces getting hosted, right around January. I bought some Crazy Bears. I started diving into different communities, and I saw Dave and Beluga just shouting at the top of their lungs about what community really means, right? And that was a big message for me because I didn't really understand the NFT community yet. I was more in it for the dollars, as most people get into it as first. And then when I started to see what they were preaching, right, the openness that they were available with, the ability to educate people, the ability to dive into this tech and what it can mean for the future, right? When you're in the Web3 space, there's a lot of different motives for people, but what makes the difference for me and Polygon is that I believe the people are here for the common good, right? We're here to break down these barriers. We're here to educate our people and understand why this is what's going to come next, right? The early adopters, we talk about this all the time. If you're early in the Web3 space, if you're in Polygon, you're early on being early, in my opinion, because this is going to be the next wave of creators, of onboarders. You look at blockchain gaming and metaverse things. This is what the direction of the world is going to. So I want to pass it over to my good friend Coin. Coin's been in the community longer than I have. He's been building, he's been collaborating. He's really a amazing, talented artist, and I call him the most underrated NFT artist in the entire space. Starting his origin in spray paint and physical art, and then bridging the gap over into the NFT world. His commentary, his social commentary on the whole idea of crypto being kind of a interesting, little slimy kind of thing, but really it's more of a satire, right? Where he can kind of build these stories behind his NFTs. And Coin, I want to hear from you for a few minutes here. What kind of drew you initially to the Polygon community, and what was your initial thoughts there?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Like Neil said, I've been here for almost a year now. It'll be a 1 year in December. As far as being in the Polygon space, I've been interested and dabbling in NFTs for almost 2 years. But the why behind Polygon for me is obviously, as you can see in this space, it's the artist community, the creator community, and I think the why behind that is the early nature of the Polygon chain itself. I know everyone preaches, "Oh, we're early," but for me, Polygon has only really been around since 2017, so it's relatively young chain, and it presents some really great scaling solutions. For me, it's a long game because of like the more industrial nature of Polygon itself. It's a really great place for big business to come in here and adopt it, but that makes it also on the flip side of that coin, it makes it a great place to foster like very tight artist communities, because the artist and creator side of Polygon is doing things on such a smaller scale that we're able to focus our efforts and do it together. And for me and a lot of people, yeah, like I said, it's a long game. There's a lot of really good things that have come out of it in this past year, as far as communities and community growth and reach. For one, like Dave up here on the co-host with me, he is one of the founders of Polygon Alliance, and that had been integral in the beginning of this year to connect a lot of the people in this room. I would say maybe 2/3 of the people in this room came together because of Dave and Beluga and the Polygon Alliance. Other people in that started it are, Jay Stansfield. We got Creative Owls in here, all really tight communities. I'm going to shout out also Polygon Game Night, which is super taken off right now. I think the moral of my story and my why is Polygon is great, like I said, for scaling solutions for big business, but it gives a focused community of artists and creators that can kind of almost work in silence because the spotlight is not on us yet. I'm going to throw it over to Dave because I know he's got some points to make as well along those same lines. So what do you think, Dave?
Thank you. Really, really good points. And essentially what I have to say is a summary of that. I mean, for those of you that have heard me speak regularly over the last year, it's about the opportunity for equality of opportunity. Polygon scalable solutions mean that, you know, everyone could potentially have the chance to make their own future in crypto. It's affordable, it's accessible, and it potentially brings you know, financial control to a lot of people that are maybe unbanked around the world, and that developing world opportunity is one of the massive drivers and is one of the key things behind, you know, the push from Beluga, myself, and so many others like yourself, Jason, Neil, Jay, Al, Cynthia, so many people throughout the community that are pushing to try and create a place where we've got networking opportunities, resources, tools that can support us in our journey, and hopefully one day something that can push your services as well.
Absolutely. Those are all amazing points, Team. And I really appreciate that insight because, again, like I'm coming at this from one perspective as a marketer, as a person who has a very beautiful voice, right? No, I get inspired by those who dump their passion into things, right? That's the only reason that I have a platform here with Tutorians is because my original founders were looking for somebody to speak on what they had built, what they had really put all their love and their support and their efforts into, and now I have this avenue, right, to speak as loud as I can, to make sure that we keep banging this drum of community. And really, it's been an amazing avenue to ensure us that we have this this great community built around it, right? The people of Web3, in my opinion, the people of Polygon really have motivated me to continue to grow, continue to build what we're here to do on a larger scale, right? And what we're seeing with the Reddit trend is really amazing, right? Like I said, these wallets that were open, the push in the Polygon direction, there's a reason why Reddit decided, okay, let's go in the Polygon world and let's really build in that way, because obviously if we're building on other chains, it's going to be hard to scale. It's going to be hard to make all these airdrops happen. And they were effectively able to do that. And what you're seeing is these amazing collections, right, are trading in the 700, 800 Ethereum range. I mean, it's amazing to see these numbers right off the bat. And this is still very young, right? We're still getting started. You know, I'm jumping into these avatar discords and all these pages on Reddit. I'm not a Reddit guy. I got to be very transparent here. So if you want to onboard me to Reddit and give me some education and you're out there, I would greatly appreciate you. But really, it's just me dipping the toe into their pool. And I really, really hope that they will come over here and understand why we believe that Twitter as well should be a tool utilized by all of them too, right? The spaces, the conversations that we have, the ability to share each other's work on different platforms. I really believe that both, right? Both tools deserve a little bit of light here. And that's our entire goal. So really quickly, I'm going to kick it over to one more friend that we have here, and then we're going to go around the rim for a few different topics on as far as tech, wallet security, all these things that we want to ensure people kind of get a little bit of light on. I want to kick it over to an amazing creator, somebody that is in here for the right reasons. Also, side note, I forgot to mention this. This is an 18 and under space. You want to make sure that this stays a little bit clean because we do have some creators, some people that influence the younger generation, right? People that are building in the right direction. And also we want to use this space, it's being recorded, as a tool to continue to educate people, right? So just want to preface that if you're coming up here, please try to keep it PG-13. You can drop a dang or a darn or something like that. Make up a funny word while you're hanging out with us. But in that light, we have one of our amazing Polygon creators who's been with us for a long time, focusing in the NFTs for kids, focusing on bringing his own passion to his animated series. And we have the one, the only Jay Stansfield here today. Jay, how are you doing?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for the lovely introduction. It gets me so excited and fills me with so much joy to know that people like you exist. It's so motivating and inspiring. You know, it's important to remember that people like yourself are here to genuinely shine a light on the things that we all need to stick together on, you know. And it's so tempting to not do that. For a lot of people, it's very, very tempting. And that temptation is real. And, you know, we've got to just keep grounded. I think that's the best way to describe it. And, you know, keep focused. And I mean, this is one of the reasons I began in this space, to focus on children and parents. You know, I mean, I began my journey with a colouring book, believe it or not. You know, I popped out a colouring book during lockdown, called it Squibbles, and it was a colouring journal, really, to help kids and parents get through the challenging times of lockdown. Which, as a parent myself, I've got two young girls. That we were home learning, and it was a challenge, and I wanted to just, even if it was just a smile for the parents, even if it was just 10 minutes of joy for the children, I wanted to bring something for them. So I just went down the self-publishing route, and time trogged on a little, and then I discovered NFTs. And the person I met first was Beluga Bay, and we were adventuring together, really, in the space. He'd done a little bit, and we kind of met on this new social media platform called User, which unfortunately didn't progress as much as we wanted. And we both kind of jumped ship, really, into Polygon. We thought, oh, we'll just explore Polygon, you know, because we weren't happy with the gas fees, and you know, we were both really aiming our stuff at a younger market. I mean, Beluga had been making plushies for a while, you know, for kids. He'd been making teddies and stuff. So I just thought it's not right that parents are forking out, you know, a ridiculous amount of money in gas fees just to get a drawing. It just didn't make sense to me. So when Polygon came along, I thought, this is amazing. You know, it's like you said, it's better for the environment, which is something that we should always be promoting to young people. Always promote looking after our environment. It was the fact that there were no, you know, very, very minimal gas fees was a massive pull for me, because, you know, as a parent, it's not cheap. It's an expensive thing being a parent. I will tell you that for nothing. And, you know, anyone who's a parent will completely understand that children cost a lot of money. So reducing as much as you can, reducing the cost in this as much as you can, especially in such a new area, was essential, really, for me putting out some NFTs. And there we go. I've gone off on a tangent now.
But it's a good tangent, Jane. I want to give you a little bit more time as we jump into our builder spotlight to talk about exactly what you're building, you know, your animation show, which is taking off very soon in development here, and all those things. But I love to hear people's why, right? I love to hear people's, you know, the motive behind Polygon. And so we have some people, and I want to give about everyone, you know, 1 to 2 minutes just to give a few overviews on the why Polygon. Then we'll jump directly into your project and what you're building and everything in between. And I want to actually kick it off with a few of our members here directly. And then we're going to, you know, go around the room. We'll talk about some wallet security, some things on that. I'm going to kick it over at first, though, to a few members of the direct community here. And I'm going to start off here with actually one of my very own Flora fam. I have Sir Jackalope on stage here. Jackalope has been an amazing member of the Flora fam. He's a community member. He's helped me co-host before. He dives deep into the Polygon ecosystem and ensures that, you know, people know that we're here, as well as collecting in other chains. So I want to encourage Jackalope, what first attracted you? First and foremost, hi. I want to say hi to you because you're a good friend of mine. There we go. Sorry about that. But at
No
first,
worries.
you know, what attracted you into the Polygon chain to dive in, and as a collector, right? As somebody who's now I see you as a builder, right? Who else is why? What was your why behind your first Polygon interaction?
Well, honestly, I started off with crypto coins and kind of with nodes. And one of my favorite node projects was one of the only ones that was on the Polygon chain. And unfortunately, it's not around any longer, but I had a lot of issues with nodes and just paying for things, and just interacting with the services, and not AVAX and Avalanche, a bunch of different other ones. But Polygon was always the easiest one for me to use. And as I started to kind of branch into NFTs, I found Deturians. That was, I think, my first Polygon. Yeah, I think that was my first Polygon NFT, was Deturians. And I've just loved the community. It's a real tight community. It's really positive. I'm sure if you've been in other communities, it's not the same type of vibe. There's always going to be some naysayers in any community, but overall the vibe and Polygon is much more open. Everyone's really supportive of each other. And also, that was the other thing that I really noticed, is that all the different projects really support each other. The artists support each other. So it was just kind of, definitely, when they say with NFTs, it's the vibe, it's the community, you definitely feel that in Polygon for sure.
I appreciate that, Jackalope. And yeah, like I said, been riding. It feels like you've been riding with us since the early times, but you jumped into us probably halfway through our original mint, run. I think we initially, interacted in a Skirpy space, right? I mean, back in the day when
Yes,
Skirpy
yeah,
was hosting, every single day, all those big spaces, 100 to 200 people in them. We were a very common person in there because, number one, we enjoy what Skirpy builds, right? He's building something awesome,
exactly.
community based. Yeah, exactly. And the platform's great, but then it allowed us to have a good reach, right? And that's where many of our community members came from initially. And I really just appreciate all the efforts that you've put into it. Now you're jumping on teams, you're educating other people, and just really getting deep into the ecosystem for what Polygon has for the future. So I just want to give you kudos where it's due, my friend.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I see a lot of exciting things in the future for Polygon and for NFTs, and the just what we're building and the whole group. Every time we have these little these spaces, I just see them getting bigger and bigger, and more artists and more projects, and you definitely see the building happening, and it's just something really exciting to be a part of, to be honest.
Thank you so much, my friend. Yeah, and so thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for that insight. Obviously, hang out with us for a while. Do whatever you want. I know that you're a busy man. You're grinding away. You got plants to take care of. You're taking care of the real estate thing. I mean, and again, like the difference, in my opinion, and this is bias, right? This is the most biased thing in the world. The difference, in my opinion, with Polygon and other communities is that I truly believe I've made personal connections with each and every one of the people that are in here, right? I mean, there's a reason why I can tell you what Jackalope does for a living. I'm not trying to dox you, but I can tell about your hobbies. I can tell about people in this space, right? I know what Cynthia's doing on a day-to-day basis. Zach is here. All these people in our space here today, I've made a real connection with. Many of these people I've met in real life at this point. And I want those relationships to be the focal point of everything that we do here, right? I believe in the power of people, and the people in Polygon just have great hearts, right? And maybe it comes from not having the huge dollar amount that a lot of other chains have to launch. Maybe it comes from, pouring their heart into something and wanting to get that sight of it, and not having the sight, not having the scope that they deserve, right? I believe that we have a little bit of that grit and that grind in our background, because I think that that's going to take us farther, right? That's going to put our head down, but keep our eyes up, is what I always say in our community. So, Jackalope, thank you for that sentiment. I really, really appreciate that. I'm going to kick it over to a good friend of ours as well. We have Zachary on stage here with the Polygon hoodie, obviously one of our amazing community members, hosting spaces, getting into the NFT world from many different avenues, originally in crypto. But I just want to touch base with Zach really quickly and say hi to my good friend. How are you doing today, Zach?
I'm doing a lot better than yesterday. How are you, Nil? You're always out here grinding, doing stuff. I love to see it. But yeah, I did start in crypto, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but I kind of jumped in the Twitter space just because we were doing a podcast at the time. And I found, I believe it was Beluga Bay's space. And then, I feel like we all started as Skirpy, Beluga Bay, or Dave. So we just kind of spiraled, and we're here. So yeah, thanks for bringing me up and having me. I love you guys. You guys are doing amazing stuff.
Yeah, I love you too, Zach, truly. And one of our amazing community members who is just there from multiple avenues, right? And what, Zach is also building on his end, right? There's a lot of different social media aspects that Zach is building. Nothing that we want to talk about right this moment, but it will be one of those avenues that we want to promote and ensure that people get some light on that, because I believe the goal here is for us to become super freaking deadly, armed to the teeth of what the future of Web3 is going to be, and what Zach and Cynthia, our building here as well is going to be one of those avenues, right? That bridge, I'm going to say that 1,000 times, that bridge from Web 2 to Web 3, that should be the goal. If you believe in mass adoption and onboarding people, you should be thinking the how do I get people over? And in my experience, when I talk to I call them IRL friends. That's a silly term. When I talk to my friends that are still in the Cleveland area, when they're asking me, like, always refer to me, oh, it's Nil. That's the NFT guy, right? When they talk to new people, like, oh, Nil, he's into NFTs. Like, that was at first a little bit embarrassing, but now I wear it like a badge of honor, right? Because I believe in what we're doing here, right? Because I believe in good people. I believe in what we're doing and what we're building. And on top of that, I've had such success onboarding those people, the people that are not exposed into the NFT sphere. I have such success onboarding those people directly to Polygon because it is so obvious. They shouldn't be paying all these gas fees. They shouldn't. I looked at GUI this morning, guys. It's up to 48, right? That is essentially, if you're minting a $6 NFT, you're going to be paying about 5 times that much in gas to interact with the environment alone. Now, that's getting better. I'm not saying that, right? All the merge things that are happening and everything across the board, but all that means for the Polygon ecosystem is it's going to get that much more efficient, right? It's going to get that much more effective for us. And there's reasons why all these big Ethereum projects are building all their games, all their coins, all the directions that they're doing into the Polygon ecosystem, right? And so we believe at one point that scale will tip towards our favor a little bit, slowly by slowly, right? All those people will realize, why don't we just do this all in one area? Why don't we just make things as streamlined as possible and efficient in that direction? So that being said, I'm going to kick it over to another good friend of ours here. He's a little bit newer to the NFT and Polygon community specifically, but he's been a builder for a long time from the Web 2 direction, and somebody that I love to talk about the bridge with, right? That entire aspect of what this means for bringing IRL utility and all those things onto there. We have Meta Rides up here too, and that's actually hosted by Hermie, who's a great friend of many of the people in the Polygon and the NFT world. He's hosting spaces. He's out there. He's exposing himself. Meta Rides, Hermie, how you doing today, my friend?
I was going to say, what's up, Nil, but I can't call you Nil. You'll always be Deterians to me. What's up?
Both ways.
Everybody in the space, please retweet any of those pinned tweets at the top and share the space. We just actually, I'll do a quick intro, super fast. I am Hermie behind the Meta Rides PFP, and we are building 3D metaverse-ready vehicles for upcoming Unity and Unreal Engine 5 platforms, just so you get an idea and a base of what we're doing. I will say this: we just went through research of many different blockchains, and we landed on Poly for many different reasons. We are dealing a lot with Web 2 brands to help them dip their toe into Web 3. The blockchain-backed customer loyalty programs that Poly offers is super unique, and I think that was the reason mostly why we chose Poly. I encourage all of you in this space, if you do not know about SuperNets and how Starbucks is utilizing that Poly program, Google SuperNets Starbucks and learn. There's a lot of positive things happening at Poly that I think are, kind of unknown to anybody that has not done their research. So definitely look into that. But again, we're dealing a lot with Web 2 brands, and their ability to be able to, start with something as easy as Poly is probably the easiest way to get in, and we're helping them with that initial journey. We've got a lot of information that's coming out in about a week, which will explain more why Poly is the perfect fit for us. I can't drop that yet, Deterians. I apologize, but Meta Rides is super happy to have landed on Poly, and this type of space is perfect timing for us, and we're super happy to be here.
I can't give you enough appreciation, Hermie, because on top of everything that you're doing in the Polygon direction, it's the entire goal for us is to make sure that we have the avenue for builders to build and select Polygon kind of under their own goals, right? And the fact that you came into it by your own research and you got educated, that is the why, right? Every space that I go into these large spaces. They're hosted by larger Ethereum projects. There's 400, 500, 600 people in them. I ask them, I challenge them, right? I challenge them to get educated. And if you believe in the statement, follow the money, which all those people do, you should be watching what Polygon is doing from the business development stage, right? You're talking about Starbucks. what Starbucks is going to build is that rewards program. And there's a reason why those rewards are going to be directly on the blockchain in that direction. It's because it's efficient, right? It's because it makes sense to make sure that those rewards come to them directly. I want to kick it over to Coin because he had his hand up here, and I want to make sure he gets a little bit of say on that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to highlight something that Hermie said, just to bring it to the forefront and kind of get that solidified into people's minds. This is my opinion, but I think a lot of the reason why Polygon artists, creators, and builders are flying a little bit under the radar is because Polygon itself is building in relative silence. Like, not a lot of people, aside from the people who are already in the ecosystem, know about these huge partnerships that Polygon is working on. Until one day the whole world will know, and that's kind of what we're waiting for. I know that Nil was leading into it just now, but following the money is, for me, not following the money right now. It's following where the money will be.
Amen. That's exactly what it's all about, fam. And that's really what I want to touch on for a lot of different avenues, right? We talk about these larger brands. A lot of them, right, are going to like the Reddit trend. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but what Reddit did, right, building over these last few months and potential years, they were making sure these wallets are going to be secure. They're getting their people onboard into the digital collectibles and avatar world, right? You hear that vernacular, right? You hear that verbiage. It's a little bit different. I don't believe that disguising is the wrong word, but we want to say that they were making sure that this is a accessible thing, because we all know, right? NFTs scare people. NFTs have been a little bit tainted by the general market, and we want to make sure that those people have an avenue to get onboarded effectively. But if you log onto Reddit right now and you log into your account, you get a notification that says, hey, as far as Reddit points are concerned, these will all be done through the blockchain tech at this point. And they just briefly, it's on chain, they briefly mention it in that direction here. So that's what we're going to overview in our second hour here. Starting off at 1 o'clock, we'll be talking about that Reddit trend. We have actually 2 members on stage right now that are involved with that. I'm going to kick it over to them in 1 second. But to start off, I also want to touch base with an amazing builder. He's a world builder. He's diving deep into the metaverse. He's done 1,000 things on Spatial that I can't even quantify because I need to commit myself more to Spatial. But the moral of the story is he is somebody who is an inspiring person in our community. And on top of that, he has so many avenues for growth. And so I want to kick it over to my creative Owls, who's been with us and who I learned a ton of in my first few stages, hosting spaces, providing that marketing education for people who were just getting started like myself back then. And now I have the avenue to express myself. So Owls, how you doing today, my friend?
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Good. I guess good afternoon, Polygon community. And thank you, Nil, for putting this together. How are you, man?
I'm excellent, man. We've been running for 45 minutes, and we have 80 beautiful humans in this space, right? People from Reddit, people from the Avatar community, Web3. I've invited IRL friends over here. So far, man, beautiful. Nothing other I can ask for.
Absolutely. And I think that's amazing. And if everybody in here can just throw some hearts for our co-hosts here, Coin, Dave, and Deturience of what they're doing here today. It is not easy to host. It's not easy to host a mega space. So I just want to throw you some love, what you guys are doing and around that. I'd love to give you a quick background of who I am for the people for the first time and talk about kind of my thought process in Polygon right now.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. Give a little bit of an overview. I'm going to give you some light at the 120 at 120 as well to talk about specifically like events you have going on now. But start with a brief background, and then if you want to dive into any details on the Polygon, the wallet, anything you want to pin above here too, I'm actually going to pin your newest video here up too, so people can get some education as well.
I appreciate it. So if you guys are listening, if you're on a browser, I did pin up there the Polygon Insights for week 42. These are all the data within the analytics with the networks. What are the key takeaways? What are the dApp spotlights in Polygon and the NFT highlights? So if you are a data person that likes to look at numbers and want to look at trends, go ahead and check out that blog article. I went ahead and pinned it up there for you. Yeah, I think there's a repeating story here. Is that a lot of people here started with Dave and Beluga, and I am myself as well too. Before I started with Dave and Beluga, I've always been a digital creator, marketing entrepreneur. That's always been my thing. And during the COVID, I needed to come up with a COVID project or to express my creativity because I was stuck at home. I got onto the NFT scene, and I had a horrible experience with the Ethereum community, and they pretty much not banned me, but just kind of talked down to me because I was a one-of-one artist on the Polygon blockchain. And they said, Polygon will never make it. You can never be a one-of-one artist. It's just not going to work for you. And I think that kind of fueled up my fuel for myself to keep moving forward. So once I connected with Dave and Beluga, I was talking about AWS Sumerian, and this is a metaverse platform that you can create on AWS. And it wasn't working for me. So I did my research, and I was telling Beluga, hey, I'm doing this metaverse stuff. And I told everybody I was doing all this metaverse stuff, and no one believed me, or they were just kind of like, okay, whatever. Long story short, I'm now a Polygon Studio partner. I'm one of the first Polygon Studio partners in our NFT community. I'm a Ready Player Me partner. I am also a Spatial Guide, a Dash Radio partner, and many more things as well, too. What I do, just to be clear, and I just want to be very transparent with everybody, I am a NFT project or a brand that helps Web3 brands and digital artists connect, learn, and sell NFTs in the metaverse. That's it. And we've done that through our events that we've had in the last couple of years. If you guys don't know, we host a Polygon showcase. We host our Christmas parties. We have a Halloween party going on. We've got a lot of things that we do, but what we try to do is try to help creators. One of the hardest things for NFT creators in the Polygon space is getting visibility on your project, getting people to see what you're doing, and utilizing some of my marketing skills in the community to create these environments has really created a spike within our community and to create a brand awareness of what we're doing because other communities don't have that. On the community topic, real quick, there are no bad communities, real quick. There are just bad leaders. I'm going to repeat that one more time for you guys that are listening. There are no bad communities. There's just bad leaders. And what we've done within the Polygon community is that we have established ourselves the top tier within our leaders and really put ourselves out there. But we work our asses off. We are here in and out and making sure that we can educate you. And during these last year, we've had many, many successful things within the Polygon community. And I'm really excited to see what the next iteration of the next year for 2023 is. We've seen 2022 start up really slow. We've seen kind of the slowness. But this is the time we've actually seen a lot of creators actually innovate. There's actually artists that are selling through the roof right now because they're doubling down on their marketing and their innovation. So there is growth. There is a lot of positivity. We as leaders and as creators have to push ourselves to it. Now, the hardest part within Polygon that I've seen is the technology side. How do I connect my wallet? How do I buy Matic? How do I bridge, right? A year ago, we were using Umbria Bridge and, spending $10 or less than $10 for us to bridge over, right? Now, things have gotten a lot easier for us within our technology. OpenSea adopted the Polygon. Spatial has adopted Polygon. PayPal, all these other, maybe not PayPal, but other transaction big are now accepting Matic. And the reason why this is all changing, it has to do with the way Polygon technologies change. And the way that they change is they provided a new marketing scheme within Polygon Studios. So Polygon Studios handles all the marketing for them. And they actually got named one of the top best marketing companies in 2022. And what they've done silently, like we were talking about, Coin, is they have partnered up with Disney. They have partnered up with Starbucks. They are just partnering up with big brands to make the customer journey a lot easier. So as Polygon is picking up, we're also going to see the technology side pick up with our apps and our applications. We've seen Meta, we've seen Instagram, and we've seen these like Twitter all starting to adopt our social media NFTs. It's just a matter of time for it to get the ball rolling. So that's kind of like an overview of who I am, kind of my insights. But for the future for the Polygon, if you haven't had any sugar yet, put some more sugar inside that Kool-Aid because that Kool-Aid is perfect. And it's perfect for creators, community builders, and everybody around the world to build on. So I encourage you guys, if you're listening, if this is your first time on Polygon, to dive in, listen to some of the stories that we have going on here, and have an open mind to this blockchain. Because just like new technology is, if you have an open mind, you can accept these new things. Either you're a change creator or you're someone who doesn't like change. So I encourage all you guys here today is to be change creators. Back over to you, Neil.
Thank you so much, Charles. That was a perfect overview for, things that you're building, the community aspect of everything involved here. And again, like, this is what it's all about. You need to find avenues to, number one, promote your work, but promote yourself. And I want everyone to understand this. When I invest in projects, right, I'm a collector on myself, right? My collection, my profile is down there in the space as well. It's way down there. It's throwing hearts somehow. I'm not really sure how that's working. Elon, chill out. But the moral story is, when I look at what we're trying to do in this community, I look at the people. I look at their motives. I look at their why, right? Because that is what's going to push this ball uphill. When you invest in somebody's passion, I mean, I haven't sold any of your NFTs that are on stage here for a reason, right? I've never listed them. I've never posted anything about them. Like, I posted them about them in a positive light, but I've never looked to make a monetary gain in this direction yet, because I believe in the future of what we build here together, right? So supporting each other and making sure that avenue is one of the things that we focus on is my why, right? The people of Polygon is my why, because they're building for the right reasons, the ideals of Web3, right? Coin, myself, a number of our community members, BDK, people down there, we were at Ethereum Toronto, right? We got to hear Vitalik talk. When he talks about this tech, it's not about, the art is one thing. Yeah, that's great. That's grand. I love that. But the goal of Web3 is breaking down these barriers, providing people who need the avenue to build, to grow, to level the playing field of what the real world has sent us. That is what decentralization is all about, right? That is the goal for the Web3 community. And I believe truly Polygon and the community, we embody that, right? We are the common person. We are the working human, and we deserve in this NFT world an avenue to build, to grow, and to show what we have. Our talent is so immense here. I can't understate that. People that are building in this space are so freaking talented. It's just about the visibility, and what Alice provides is exactly that. The continued growth, the points, the marketing, the pivots that we can make to be super effective. Whew! All right, I'm going to get off my pedestal a little bit here. We're rocking with 87 beautiful members of the Web3 community. I appreciate each and every one of you. If there were less of you, I'd probably go down the list and say everybody's name, but we have a very tight schedule here. Again, I want to appreciate everyone for stopping by. If you're requesting up and I haven't allowed you up here, we actually have a very set schedule for the next 2 hours, so I want to make sure that you DM me, reach out. My DMs are going to flood. I know that's going to happen, but we will be doing this on a weekly basis now. Every single Saturday, my goal is to provide an avenue for our community members to gain this education, for amazing creators and artists to get a light, and for all of us to understand why Polygon and all these avenues that we're building are here to stay. So before we dive into the tech, before we dive into a few other things that we want to talk to, we're going to touch base with two other people who are amazing Polygon community leaders, who are artists, who are guides, who are gurus, and then we'll actually be discussing some things with the Reddit people themselves, because we have two amazing people on stage here too. So first and foremost, I'm going to kick it over to somebody who I connect with on a spiritual level. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I'm going to say it anyway, is Cynthia. And what Cynthia does, what Cynthia builds is great people, great community, and on top of that, she has amazing art, which is built directly on Polygon, a little bit on Tezos, which is great, right? I believe that the future is cross-chain, but again, Polygon is the community for me. So, for first and foremost, Cynthia, I want to welcome you to the stage. How is your day treating you?
Well, hello everyone. I am so excited to be here, and I'm so glad we're doing this now. Technically you're doing this, Daturians. You're just gathering the family. We're just here to preach the gospel. We're just here to spread the word, because we know how good Polygon is. We all are here because we love it. We're here by choice. We're here because we want to be building on this amazing chain, because to start with, blockchain is revolutionary. It is going to help so many people just find financial independence. Like, so many people are going to be so much better off in the next 5 years just because of this technology. And I strongly believe that Polygon is going to be the leader in this. I can talk about this for hours because I am deeply passionate about this technology and how this space is going to be moving. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you for hosting this. And I guess we have a lot of discussion to carry forward. But guys, if you have not looked into what people are doing on the blockchain, and the reason why Polygon, for me personally, is one of the leading blockchains is because it doesn't have a high entry barrier. You don't need much. There are countries in the world where people can't have wallets, they can't have bank accounts, and this is a way for them to gain financial independence. They can make money that they have never been able to dream about before. Like people in Asia, in third world countries in general, all across the board, like $5 might not mean a lot to many, but that could be someone's, daily pay. And now you can get that just by putting amazing art on the blockchain. And not only that, but because the art is on the blockchain and online on marketplaces like OpenSea, we get to experience so many new things we would never have been able to experience. We get to see art from all corners of the world, and it doesn't cost a fortune for us to own it. We can own pieces from all over the world, and that's what I love about this whole space. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Cynthia. And I think that's really what the inspiration is behind a lot of what we do here, right? It's the people, it's the accessibility, it's the it's the ability to build communities. And what Cynthia does, what she does so well, is welcome people with open arms, right? She's a community mentor for a lot of us here. She provides the avenue for people to get very comfortable very quickly. And that's not saying that everyone else doesn't do that, but Cynthia excels in that, which I just want to give you a bunch of love, Cynthia, because I think my own story with Cynthia is I'm jumping into these spaces as my first, as my first account is Big Nil Collect. It's down there. It's hanging out. Again, real quick, guys. If you're connecting me in the DMs, my DMs are wild right now. I actually just checked them out. Please jump down to Big Nil Collect and reach out there, because that is where I will be actually able to filter you to and have communications with you, because right now this is all filtering. I actually just got an amazing DM from from somebody who's out on the stage, Drew Barman. He had to drop off, but he's currently at Disney, which is kind of funny. Right. And so that's on topic for us, because building in that direction is going to be one of those avenues in the accelerator program. But again, 3 days into my experience in the Polygon community, Cynthia reached out to me, had an amazing conversation, expressed how much she loved my passion and what Tutorians is building. And then we just we exchanged addresses. We started sending stickers back and forth to each other. We started really, having this next level of connections. And that's what Polygon is for me. So Cynthia, thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Continue to be a leader, continue to grow, and excel at everything that you do here today, and moving forward, because I truly believe that you inspire people more than you could ever know. So you don't need to respond to that. I know you love me. Thank you so much. Now, without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to one of our other community leaders. I describe him as Polygon's guru. He has much experience in the Web3 racing direction as far as the Zed Run horses go, and everything like that. He's made his amazing life here in the Polygon community. He's a realtor on his full-time job, but truly he has insights into keeping us all on task. And really, he overviews us and makes sure that we get taken care of in the right direction. So I'm going to kick it over to my good friend, John. He's under Dork Love Sports over here. John, how's your wonderful Web3 Saturday going?
Well, no, I'm sorry, my Saturday's not going great, and it's one of the reasons I had to stop by. I'm glad I was able to make it. My wife was kind enough to bring the daughter to her to Walgreens, so I have a moment. And Creative Owls was talking about how strong the community, and I think what I love about Polygon, Cynthia mentioned it too, is that low barrier to entry. We have these lovely, amazing communities made up of artists and lunatics, and we all just sort of have these wonderful, idealistic beliefs about how things should work, and we love it. And a project that exemplifies this to me is Elegant Elephants, and their sister project, Elegant Ocean Racers, projects that were Elegant Elephants is like the phoenix of Polygon, because the community just wouldn't let it go away, took it back. And Elegant Ocean Racers is this wonderful thing that was born out of inspiration from a project by community members. And that's what I want to talk about. If you'd be kind enough to put up my pinned tweet. Elegant Ocean Racers got delisted because OpenSea is monstrously incompetent, and they still fall for bot attacks that spam the delist email and the troubleshooting, and it's ridiculous. They claim to be a Web3 company, and they fall for things like elderly people with Nigerian Prince emails back in the day. So if everyone would be kind enough to like, retweet, and report, all the information is there in the tweet. These are really great projects that really, I think, exemplify what Polygon is about and kind of what we're going to talk about later. Innovation, community first. And I'm proud to be a member of both. Like, I'm a member of, I think, almost everyone that's on this panel. I have a lot of the people in the room. And I'm proud to say that. And I would really appreciate the help for communities I'm a proud member of. That'll be it for me for now. Thanks for giving me the time, Neil. I really appreciate it.
Dave, take it away.
I mean, first of all, guys, please go and help out Elegant Elephants community, Elegant Ocean Racers, and send the email. Follow the instructions that team's put in the Discord message. The more noise that's made, the quicker people like OpenSea listen. There's just a couple of things I want to touch on before we move on, Neil, and I know we're already pushing time. First of all, John and Cynthia, there's a reason I reached out to them when we started the 2 to 4 spaces after the thing that happened earlier in the year and Beluga having to take a step back. These guys are like-minded to Beluga and I. They have the same values. They want to lift people. They want to lift the space. They want to provide knowledge. They want to provide support. They want to make you feel like a human. And that's why they commit their time every day, 3-4 days a week, every week to you, to this space for free. So please make sure you're supporting Cynthia and John, especially on Thursdays when I'm not about. Go send some love Cynthia's way, 2 till 4 Eastern. And the other thing, there's just like a couple of bits around the technology that we haven't touched on that I think is really important to talk about. We spoke about SuperNets. And PolyAvail and ZK EVM wrap into that. And that's all about expanding the operability, moving it between chain, and also taking transactions from things like Zen token, which might be why gas is really high everywhere at the moment. Go look into it. But taking them off of Polygon and into their own kind of layer 3 type solution so that they're not clogging up the network. And then off the back of that, that's why Starbucks, Disney, Reddit, Meta, all of these companies that have all been mentioned have been getting on Polygon. And Reddit got onto Polygon. They gave Polygon like 200 million last December. So if you follow the news, you can keep on top of this. You can know what's happening and you can be trying to get ready for when things come. And the final thing that I want to talk to you guys about, especially if you're not new to Polygon, you're new to this community, is that there's been like 58,000 dApps created on Polygon now. 15,000 of them are used every month, more than once, regularly. It's 15,000 apps on chain, on Polygon, used monthly. It's absolutely incredible, and it smashes all of the other chains out of the water. And that's the reason a lot of builders are building on Polygon. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on those points, Neil, before we moved on. Mainly the John and Cynthia points, because they're more important than the building for me, but the building stuff's good as well.
100%. Yeah. And again, the power of the community is really what continues to propel us all forward. But on top of that, you pair it with the technological advances that the Polygon chain is making. I mean, you got to give it credit where it's due, right? They are listening to people that need the tools, right? We hear in the spring, right? We're all sitting back, we're in our spaces, and I believe that Sunflower Farms launches, right? Now, that's an amazing project. It's a game. It's built on Polygon, but we remember what that did to our network, right? We remember the effects that had on gas fees on Polygon, and it's ridiculous because we compare and contrast things, and it was just us paying dollars compared to us paying pennies back then. But that's still, for creators at our scale, that affects things, right? And when they see that, I'm not saying this wasn't in development yet, but they maybe pushed it to the forefront. When they see that, they look for things like Avail and like the roll-ups and all those things that can assist those needs and can alleviate that stress from the greater community. And I hope, I truly believe they were probably listening and they said, okay, we need to make sure that this is our main focus rather than something else in the technology sphere. So again, the direction that they're building, silent, but freaking deadly, right? And I really believe that what Polygon Studios does on their end, right? Like Al said, we're also a Polygon Studios partnered project here. What they do on their end with NFT NYC, they just recently co-sponsored that. They had the biggest stage, right? Because we believe, now this is just a brief stat, year over year, right? The usage, and one of my good friends, Parbs, he's down there in the listener section, I actually believe, he sent this because he works in equity and all these things, and he sent, year over year, these stats say that 52% less usage overall in the crypto ecosystem, but 140% increase, right? So what that means to me is that we are strategically positioning ourselves to have success, and what Polygon Studios is directly doing relates to that, right? There's a reason they're positioning themselves in that business development direction and providing these avenues for creators to build and continue to scale at this rate, right? It is just around the corner, and we can say that's just around the corner because we're so early, right? We always say that. It could be in a year. The corner could be a year. The corner could be 5 years from now. I don't really care at this point because I know what the future of this blockchain holds, and we truly believe in the technology behind it. So, with that being said, we are entering our second hour here. I want to make sure that we transition a little bit from the Polygon direction and actually talk directly to some of our amazing builders in the direction of that as well. So what we're going to be doing here is we're actually going to pivot into the Reddit thread, right? So the topic of Reddit has been on the, it's been on the stage. And before I actually dive into it, I'm gonna use a creative Al's term right here. Bloop, 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 bloop. We're going to boost the room really quickly. And if you've been with us for the first hour, you've been rocking with the Polygon community, you've been popping, doing the thing, you listen to the intro music, you post in your DMs, you post in your Discord. I appreciate you. One last time, let's get a good retweet out here. We've been rocking right between 80 and 90 members. Let's push this thing to 100. This is easily the largest space that I've ever hosted, and I want to thank you all, right? Thank you all for taking time out of your amazing Saturday. You could be with your family, your kids, your friends. You could be out there running around, but you're listening in and hearing some amazing education into the Polygon ecosystem. And this next hour is going to be focused on creators. It's going to be focused on builders. But really what sparked this conversation for us, and a lot of this, I reached out to Umbria Bridge, who's an amazing tool for the many people in the Polygon community. Unfortunately, they're traveling today, so they won't be joining us. But what they describe this is kind of the adrenaline shot in the arm, right? This was a little bit of a kick in the backside that we may have needed, may have wanted, may have whatever it is, but it's come, right? It has gotten to us to a point where we're starting these spaces. We're encouraging us to restart that fire of collaboration and effort all together. And it's what Reddit was, what has done over these last few months and really over this last week, right? We have some amazing members of the Reddit community here as well, and I want to welcome them to the stage. First and foremost, we have Oni Cowboy, who was in a space with me last night, and I actually wanted to say hi to Oni really quickly. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent, my friend. I'm excellent. And before I dive into more specific questions, I want to welcome you to our space here. These are people who've been building on Polygon for a long time, as you've heard me say a couple of times, but truly, these are good people, right? And I love connecting good people with other good people. And just from our brief conversation yesterday, just popping into one space, I believe that's the motives for many of the Reddit avatar people and what you all are building. And so I'll kick it back to you in 1 second, but I also want to say hi to one of the amazing, Reddit avatar artists as well. We have Tyler Faust with us. Tyler, how's your Saturday treating you?
Hey, Saturday's going great. Just doing some mechanical work in the garage and enjoying the space, and had a good time listening to all these people on Twitter and merging our cultures. And I think everything's going great.
Excellent, my friend. Well, I really appreciate that. So I'm going to start. If either of you can speak on this, I'm gonna start with Oni if he wants to give a little bit of an overview of kind of the process, what Reddit was doing, the thought process behind it, how they brought it to fruition. And obviously, I know that I heard a couple different times yesterday in your space as well. There's NDAs, there's things that you always don't want to push too hard, and if there's anything that you don't want to talk about, obviously, that's the entire goal here. We want to make sure that you all feel as comfortable as possible in our community as well. But could you give a little bit of a brief overview of kind of what the anticipation was, what the goals were, and where things are kind of today?
Well, I can only speak towards kind of, the series of events with the community. In terms of what Reddit's trying to do, that would be more in Tyler's wheelhouse. He's got a little bit more information than I do. it all kind of started off with the free NFT drops. I think that was in July, late July, early August. It was kind of quiet. A lot of people thought it was just an ad, which was kind of funny. And then people started asking, like, what is this, dude? And around that time, if you tried to look it up on Google, you couldn't find anything. So it became even more confusing. So you started seeing communities forming, talking about it, trying to figure out what it was. Basically, as soon as people kind of saw there was some in the store too. So people got to chatting, got to talking, got to getting some of the ones from the store and mixing and matching them and sharing their creations and stuff like that. And then it just kind of took off from there. I think September 1st we had, I don't know, like 700 people. As more people figured out what these were and how to get them and kind of how to get into the NFT space, it kind of just started taking off. And then I want to say like 10 to 12 days ago, they started hinting at the Gen 2 release, and people just started going nuts for it, getting all their friends and family involved, reaching out to their coworkers, their counterparts, all of that. And then, that collection dropped and it just exploded. So everybody got in on that. It sold out in a day. And it's been maintaining volume since. That's basically it. It just kind of it went parabolic about, I want to say, 7 days ago.
No, that's excellent. I really appreciate that insight into the general community basis of it and the overview of it, because obviously you all are directly involved in things here, and that's information that we want, right? That's information that we want to understand exactly what that trend with. I'm going to kick it over to Coin. I'm sure he's got a good follow-up for you here.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say that I claimed my free avatar back in June or July, whenever it was, and I thought it was really interesting. But I live my life on Twitter now, which I kind of regret with this new drop, because I did not find it until it was already sold out. But my thoughts on Reddit and my experience with Reddit throughout the years is Reddit is like the OG community builder. Like, I've met so many awesome people on Reddit, and I've learned so much. Like, it's where I get my news. It's where I hang out with friends. Like, when I say OG community builder, like, I don't think those are enough words to explain how I feel about it.
No, that's awesome, Jason. I appreciate that. I called you Jason. I doxed you. Oh, well. You're a friend, and you understand that that's your name. So that's okay, and you want to be known out here. So thank you, Coin, for that insight, too, and somebody that came from Reddit directly in the direction of trading and all those things. He's got experience in that direction. But again, it's one of those community building platforms that really makes sense for a lot of people. And again, it's a little bit more open-ended than the Twitter is. I mean, we'll see. Things are going to evolve as the acquisition just happened recently. But it is providing people that aspect of community that we try to foster here as well. So before I kick it over to Tyler to speak on a few more specifics, Oni, I have one more question for you as well. Now, this idea of the verbiage being used, right? That's been a really big topic for a lot of us in the NFT sphere, right? We call these things NFTs for a reason. We believe they interact with the blockchain technology. So we want to, use that as kind of our vehicle, for lack of, meta rides. I used vehicle, right? You're going to clap for that. It's funny. But the moral of the story is, Oni, what do you think the usage of those two terms, right? Digital collectibles and avatars. What does that kind of translate into on your end? Is that one of those things that's really going to help kind of propel us forward?
Yeah, because so what you're seeing with these is kind of like a broadening of what NFTs are. A lot of people are like, no, they're NFTs. No, they're collectible avatars. No, a collectible avatar is now a type of NFT. That's how I would phrase it.
I mean, I think that's beautiful. Yep, we're getting claps, we're getting love. That's exactly what it's all about, fam. I mean, I truly believe that we were due for I've said this before in other spaces, a little bit of a rebrand, right? A little bit of a adjustment, because again, I believe that the term that we're using, NFTs, it can kind of be overarching, and we want to make sure we break these down into digestible bits for people to be onboarded effectively, right? And if they get turned off by our terms, they're never going to dive deeper into the tech and what actually is being built here. The posts that I see on Reddit, right? They're all about, I totally get what digital collectibles are about. You can unlock things, you can support artists, and then you can build a community around it. That's what we do here. That's describing NFTs for us. And really the next level of that is once you start to get older, right? Everyone's saying, I'm hitting 28. I just turned 20. I'm about to turn 29 this spring here. You get older, and it's very hard to connect with new people in this life, right? Are you going to go sit in a library and read a book and hope somebody comes up to you and talks to you? Are you going to go to a bar and sit alone and hopefully somebody approaches you because you're drinking the same thing? Like, at this point, not so much, right? You're going to want to find ways to build community and real world relationships. And that's what we believe is the power of NFTs, digital collectibles, and now avatars, right? We think that's going to be a great vehicle for that. I saw Dave's hand up go first, and then Creative, you put your hand up, put your hand down, but regardless, you're going to get some time here. Go ahead, Dave.
You're right, Neil. They're vehicles. That's NFTs are their tokens, right? They're individual tokens that represent individual ownership. And when we can start to break that down, that we're not selling NFTs, we're selling products, we're selling services, we're selling art, we're selling physicals. We're just wrapping unique individual ownership into it. And when people can understand that message, NFTs become much clearer, much more recognizable as to why they're beneficial to the end user, the person that doesn't know what an NFT is in this example. So I think that the digital collectibles, whilst, you know, like we like having our own language a little bit, and like what there's a lot to be said for the kind of cult and the history almost behind it, right? At the same time, if you want to be able to be onboarding lots and lots of people, you need to make their journey simple and understandable. Like, you can follow any major platform that's done it, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. It doesn't matter. What they do is they make the end user process easy, one click, visually appealing, and other things that I'm not going to go into now because we need to hear from these incredible artists.
Amazing, Dave. I really appreciate that. Creative, anything quickly on that?
Yeah, just real quickly. I think I don't know how much these sold for. I think they were under $10, but people could buy them with a credit card. And I think the transactional fee or the process was like the really simple journey. People want to get into digital collectibles and NFTs, but just the buying process has been a pain in the ass. Sorry, a pain in the butt.
Thank you.
And then now it's going to be a lot easier as technology. So not only that, but some of them bought for $10, and the highest one sold. You guys ready for this? I think was over $21,000. I think it was $24,000. So collectibles are in. It is picking up, but this is I'm just so excited about this, and I'm really happy that Reddit took the step forward. Back to you.
Thank you, Oz. Yeah, exactly right. We want to make sure that when we discuss these things and we're onboarding people, that we have, again, the verbiage that we think will be as effective as possible to bring them into the light, right? To bring into the light, right? Like we're some kind of deity here. That's not the right word. To bring them into their technology, into our world, right? Because we know the power of Web3. It's all these ideals that I've been spouting off about in this space, but it's really because this community aspect leads the charge. And that's what really is the game changer for me. So without further ado, we are a little bit behind schedule, but that's okay. I know all you like hanging out with us. There's a few people that haven't jumped in here, so we're going to have to shuffle some things around. That's fine. But first and foremost, I want to kick it over to an amazing artist, somebody that actually Shane connected with me in the background. I know Shane Walker's down there with us. Fix, for all of you who know, Shane's an amazing community member of ours as well. He actually minted Datorian #2, I believe the number was. So appreciate you being so consistent out here with us, Shane, and always supporting people. He's a builder on his end. He's a member of a million different teams too. So I know Shane will be jumping up in next week's space actually to discuss some things here as well. But in the foreground, I want to make sure we touch base with Tyler here. Tyler Faust is an amazing artist. That's plain and simple to see. If you guys click onto his profile, if you jump into his art, he has this line art design where you can see some very specifics as you get farther away from it. Being not an artist, I'm not as eloquent in describing everything, so please excuse that. But he has the Faustlings, which is the avatar collection that Reddit was building with him. And Tyler, could you give me like the briefest overview of your experience first as an artist, and then I'll ask a follow-up question on the Reddit things?
Sure. And first, I want to talk about Skirpy. I joined Skirpy's little network, big network, before I even came into the Reddit side. So that was kind of cool, and I learned a lot there. But yeah, so onboarding. You're asking about my onboarding onto Reddit. Is that correct?
Well, specifically, yeah, like as far as your art goes in those directions too, I want to get a little bit of background on where you started as an artist, as a person, because we like hearing stories of everything before digitals came into it. But if that links into Reddit,
Sure.
beautiful, great,
Sure.
wonderful.
Yeah. So, the briefest overview is I was stuck in grad lecture in my 2018, and I found myself trying to find a way to burn some time during 4-hour lectures, but in a way where I could listen and but still, like, I don't know. I had a hard time listening to lecture. I was distracted by everything. So I decided to start drawing, and I gave myself like a rule set. Like, okay, I'm just going to give myself like 3 rules. I'm going to follow those rules. I'm not going to try to predict the outcome of the picture, but I'm just going to burn time during class so that I can kind of listen to the lecture and not like, think about all these other little distractions. So I just started drawing lines on paper and just stacking them on top of each other. And I found, oh, wow, that really, that was a 4-hour drawing. And, the end product was pretty cool. So I started like playing around with rule sets and line work. And, over like a week or so, my hand consistency got a lot better because everything I did was super repetitive. And next thing you know, those drawings took off and ended up paying all my tuition while I was in class. I was able to turn around and sell them. And a big part of that was the fact that I was posting them on Reddit, and, people would reach out, and, I wasn't selling them. I wasn't like, come buy my art. But, when you share your art, people that are interested in it, they'll find you. And they did. And, I was able to get a lot of support that way. And eventually Reddit reached out to me through a suspicious DM that I thought was a scam. And they're like, hey, you want to do a project with us? And I'm like, sure. And, I signed an NDA, and it was Reddit. And they wanted us to do these avatar pictures, derivatives. And, super intimidated by that because, like I said, I was, kind of doing a lot of abstract work, and I didn't really know how to do that. And I just said, forget it. I'm just gonna incorporate my line style, and if people like it, they do, and if they don't, they don't. But I've got to continue with what I do, whether or not people are gonna enjoy it or not. So I just rolled the dice, and luckily I got a lot of support, and here we are.
That's amazing, man. No, I mean, that is probably one of the most organic stories I've ever heard, right? And that's really what we try to foster here in our community is the organic growth, the connection between people who just love supporting people that are working hard and pouring their passion into something. And it's your specific design style. There's a lot of different styles of these avatars that are out there. But your design style specifically is something that really attracts me because it is like so unique, right? And it's something that you've been doing for a good amount of time, and it's something that again, what I believe everybody in the NFT sphere and everybody now in digital collectibles should be looking at is how to pivot effectively. You could see that if Reddit reached out to you and you decided, nah, like I don't know how to do that, you could have shook in your head, you could have pushed it aside, you could have done a lot of different things, but your ability to be flexible in your art style and learn, right? Be effective in your craft. That is really what Web3 is all about. You have to approach it from many different angles because some people jump into the space and they think, I got great art. Boom, here it is. It's not selling. What the hell? Or what the heck, right? Like, hell's not a cuss word, right? I can say that. But moral story is you do it so effectively, and the community that you're fostering is amazing. What I saw in the space yesterday, which was awesome, is people are just supporting each other because they believe in what's being built through all the avatar experience. So for a quick overview, can you talk about what the community kind of feels like right now and what you're experiencing through the events over the last few weeks here?
Yeah. So, we started very organically, right? Like our first generation, so it took it like 2 months to sell everyone's collection out. And so, but before it sold out, you know, we were having a lot of fun. It was like a party, and there was this Avatar trading subreddit that got opened up, and we were mixing and matching, goofing off, trolling each other. I probably did most of the trolling, but it was okay. You know, we're having a good time. And then over time, people started to, you know, these collections started to sell out. Rojom's in here, his collection sold out first, or he wasn't here. You know, then we started to, like, you know, rub our eyes and realize, wait, you know, now that these are selling out, they're becoming worth more money on secondary. And it was kind of interesting. And then, you know, mine would sell out, and then all of a sudden, like, whoa, this $10 Avatar is now, you know, $25, you know. Then I thought, you know, this is crazy. So, but it made sense. You know, there was a low supply and the demand was growing, especially as Reddit would throw out these free mints. It onboarded people, and you guys already nailed a lot of the reasons why it worked out. Reddit made it really simple for everyone. They allowed you to buy with your credit card. You didn't have to, you know, my dad was able to buy an avatar on Reddit, and he bought it with a credit card. Then, you know, 3 minutes after that, he was explaining to me what a seed phrase was. And so it was, I mean, like, you can't get easier than that. And it was super self-contained. And I've always said, you know, the platforms that bring Web3 to the people, instead of the people having to try to discover Web3 by learning all these terms and everything, those companies are going to do really well. And so when you guys were talking about digital collectibles versus NFT, you guys nailed it. You know, it makes, they're both correct, but one makes more sense to someone who doesn't understand the technical side. And so, yeah, so when things started selling out, the culture, we just got more excited, you know, and I try to remind the community, like, let's do the best we can to remember the roots. But we're still having a lot of fun, and, you know, it's still a pretty nice community, even with the money that's flowed in, and the outlook is bullish because Reddit's not going anywhere, and they are the masters at creating communities. They didn't even give us rules, right? They just gave us the tools, and they let us all figure it all out. Avatar trading, that wasn't sponsored by Reddit. Reddit has its own community for their avatars, but, you know, they're not really no one's really talking there. The community is organic, and they kind of do a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of other communities that are still learning about it, and they're coming around the corner to enjoy it. So
I appreciate that, Tyler. No, that's a great overview. It's a great background. It's exactly why we're here, to hear the why, right? The insight on what you're providing, and kind of that journey around, you know, what Reddit has built. And really, it's not, again, Reddit gave the vehicle, you all, the community, drove the car, right? Like, that is really the beautiful thing behind all this, is that it's organic, and it's just getting started, right? That's the best part about it. It's just revving up the engine, and what the future looks for that is, like you said, it's extremely bullish. And I'm just glad that we can connect and kind of, again, bridge this gap between the existing Polygon artists and what you all are doing here now, because we want you to be a part of our community here. We want you all to have another avenue to continue to grow, express yourselves, learn what the next steps are behind the Polygon ecosystem, and what you can really turn this into, right? We have people on stage that are building universes, building worlds, building games. The technology is just getting started. And now, you know, we have all these new people who want to, hopefully, you know, not everyone's going to do this, but hopefully we have people that want to learn. It may start as the money direction, and that's where a lot of us get started here. We see this big, you know, dollar sign that we can maybe grab. But in general, it comes down to it. And then the education is what kind of propels people forward here, because they can learn so much more. The other thing I'm going to touch on, and I'm going to kick it over to Jay as another amazing artist, I'm sure he has something to speak on there too, is when I was in the space yesterday, it was kind of funny. Fatty Bags was in there, right? And he was saying that they provided you specific tools, you know, that were, you know, they said they suggested to use XYZ brush. They suggested to use XYZ this as your kind of outlet. And that was very interesting to me. Some people didn't follow those rules, and that's okay, right? And those all end up being okay. Now, maybe that I'm gonna tweet out the picture of that hoodie, because I think it's kind of funny. His specific was, it didn't come out that great. Yeah, I'll tweet that out right now. But it was one of those things that, you know, they said you could do that, and, you know, they provided that, but they didn't say this is the rule, right? That wouldn't be very Reddit. That wouldn't be very organic if they gave
Right.
you those barriers. Exactly. So I'm going to kick it over to Jay. I'm sure he's got some awesome words for you and a question possibly. So take it away, Jay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was just getting very, very excited then, because the fact that it's simplified things just means that we can filter it down to children. And, at the end of the day, children aren't, I'm all up for education, etc. But initially, children aren't going to care why something isn't, like, if something is an NFT, they don't care. All they want to do is collect something that's fun, something that they can share with their friends, something that they can play with, enjoy, do things with. Yeah. If it's an NFT, then that gives it that, it sort of creates a vehicle for that. And the fact that, hello Tyler, by the way, I think you're a wonderful artist, by the way. The fact that it was your dad who bought one, like, for me, it's just amazing, because if someone in the older generation can do it, then that just shows that we can also do it for the younger generation as well. And I've been pushing the word digibles for the kids, because kids love cool, funky words. I love the word digibles. I'm coining it as me making that word up. I'm only joking, but still, if you can present these things in a friendly way, then it's just so much better. It's like people don't care what's inside a phone; they just like what's on the outside of the phone and what it can do. And I think that's the best way to approach it for me personally, and probably for a lot of you guys as well. But thanks for inspiring that, Tyler. It's lovely.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just, like I was having a meeting the other day, and I was just saying I'm just grateful to be, on the ship. So I'm excited.
And we're all excited to have you here, right? Because the education that we're gaining from it, and again, I hope that we continue to do this over many periods. And again, we're going to do this next week. And again, we want it to grow. And the entire avenue for us is to kind of bridge that gap. And again, hearing stories, it keeps inspiring me to learn more about what the trends are, but also why they're here to stay. So, Coin, take it away.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to play a little bit of a devil's advocate, but first I want to extend the flowers to Tyler. Thank you for coming up here and explaining your journey. It's great to meet you, and it's great to see other creators in this space, like moving volume. It's amazing to see. My devil's advocate piece is going to be about something you said about your dad, about him explaining to you what a seed phrase is. I worry a little bit about the watering down of the importance of security with the, I don't know, almost lackadaisical nature of the seriousness of what these digital collectibles really mean. Like, to us in the crypto and quote unquote NFT sphere, this is money to us, I guess. And I just want to make sure that the onboarding of more people to the more technical side and the more technical space, that we are pushing security and wallet hygiene and education in that journey.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I mean, there's definitely, I know that when you open up a wallet, or they call it a vault on Reddit, it definitely talks about security. Briefly, it explains the seed phrase, explains never to lose it, never to share it. But what you're talking about, like wallet hygiene, these are things that, I don't think in that quick intro, anytime you're trying to simplify something, that's also not a topic that comes up quickly, right? So that's definitely something that needs to be shared more. And I think that one of the really cool aspects of kind of running our cultures together is that there's been so many people that have kind of poured into Reddit, and that have also taught a lot about, hey, these are some of the pitfalls we face. And I think that we're seeing that because both sides, I think we all just want to succeed, because we're all in this together, and we don't want to get tarnished with all these bad things. And so I think that that's something that's been really helpful, is having people come and give us kind of security lessons and talk to us about things to make it easier for everyone to be safe.
Those are all great points. I'm going to kick it over to Dave.
Yeah, I mean, and I definitely think that there's resources for everything that you've just said, Tyler, that people have been building around this community for a year, that we can supply you with, so you can help get that out to community members within Reddit. I think the point I wanted to make was kind of in addition to coins, as kind of like I don't know, devil's advocate a little bit maybe. I've spent a little bit talking about custodial wallets, which is essentially what Reddit has done. They've created a wallet for you and they transfer ownership after purchase. Google are pumping a lot of money into this industry at the moment. You can go and find Google's name on a lot of things, on a lot of the building opportunities that people offer. They're investing in technology. And that would make it a one-click process for a lot of people if Google got involved with custodial wallets. But when you mention that, people kind of get a little bit affronted is possibly the wrong word, but do you know what I mean? They get concerned about, you know, the Web2 corporate players getting involved in this way. And I just think it's something that's going to be tricky to navigate for us from a community perspective who's so hardcore into blockchain and the philosophy and what it stands for and what it means, is we're going to have to compromise a little bit of that potentially to get through this like mass onboarding process. And we're going to have to figure out ways that we can help people remain safe and secure and have the knowledge that's relevant and pertinent, because a lot of these big organizations, it's not going to be top of their list of priorities.
Go ahead, Tyler.
Can I ask, when you say custodial, do you mean like they store seed phrases?
They set the wallet up for you, so when you make that purchase, that wallet isn't in your name until ownership is transferred. So you know, like your dad purchased on a credit card initially, he's got the NFT, but until everything's been passed over to him from a wallet perspective with seed phrases, information and stuff like that, he doesn't actually, like, it's not his. But like Reddit are relinquishing that. Like, it's not that they're holding on to it, it's just that process of moving it over from one person to another that people within the crypto industry aren't necessarily the keenest on. Some people within the crypto industry aren't necessarily the keenest on.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But I will tell you a really fast story. I did learn my lesson very early on, you know, especially with, you know, they opened a vault for me. I actually have 2 vaults. My first vault, I wasn't able to protect it with a password, and I created it like 2 years ago because I can't remember how. And long story short, they sent me the PFP that I have right now. They sent me the number 1 of that PFP into my old vault, and I never saved my seed phrase. And I was working with the internal people at Reddit, and they're like, "Oh crap." And I'm like, "Well, is there a way that you guys can just dig it up?" And they're like, "There's nothing we can do." They're like, "You have it. It's basically locked up." And so the cool thing is I will always be diamond hands on the number 1 rainbow Faustling. Even if Elon came in here tomorrow, like, he could never price me out of it. And I'm proud of that. I'm just going to own that now. But the cool thing is also that Reddit definitely doesn't keep seed phrases. So I don't know if that would make it non-custodial, but they do help you set it up. So I don't know if that helps people sleep at night. And now you can lock it down with your own password. So I think that's more of a security risk if you don't use the seed phrase, but just letting you know that you have those options.
Jay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, is it not just the same as when you go into a supermarket, put all your shopping in your trolley? It doesn't belong to you until you pay for it.
Whether it's the same or not, Jay, sorry, Neil, like, it's the thought process and the mentality behind people, isn't it, that's got to change. Like the analogies and the similes are fantastic and relevant, but yeah, it's how do you change the thought process of people that have built their world in this industry over the last 4 or 5 years?
I'm not trying to laugh. It's just funny how he expressed it, because it's perfect. And he used a word. I was like, hold on, shopping mart, trolley. All right, my bad. Different verbiage everywhere. Tyler, go ahead.
No, I totally agree. And you know, one thing is Reddit's not pushing these, you know, they're not pushing vaults on people at all. They just offer these free NFTs. And so if someone accepts it, like, I don't even think they're even thinking along the lines of like, oh, is this going to be a security risk? Because they actually, unless you buy a PFP, usually the people are onboarded by the free NFTs. And so they're just thinking, oh, I'll collect it. And Reddit created this vault and I got to save this phrase. And, so I don't think they even consider that, a lot of people, until later. But unless you're buying off the primary market when we release a generation.
Coin, go ahead.
That's a really good point and a really good perspective. If you're looking for numbers, which Reddit is doing, like numbers of unique wallet addresses, giving out these free avatars, which I have one, is a really good way to boost those numbers. Even if the people do not transfer to their own ownership, it is an individual wallet. That's a really good thing to think about.
Over 3 million, just for anyone that wasn't aware. I'm just to let everyone know, there's over 3 million wallets created by Reddit, like when they went live.
Amazing stuff. Yeah, that's what it's all about, right? Like, we talk about mass adoption. We talk about the ideals of what we want to bring people into this world and why you should have all this digital ownership. I talk about things like medical records. I talk about things like college diplomas. I talk about things like tickets when you go to professional sport games or events or whatever it may be. These things need to have, the accessibility level that you want them to have. Right? There's a reason why there's gates put up in our world currently. And that's really what I think is all this, technology is available for us, is up to, again, it's individual ownership. It's up to everybody that gets these accessibility points to do their research and dive into the technology, because then you understand it more. And I hope, right, we're talking 3 million wallets. We're not going to get 3 million users. We're very honest here. We understand that we're still early adapters, but if we get 200,000 people who want to dive into this tech deeper and we can understand why they see its benefit, that's just a spider web effect, right? All those people will talk to all their people about why this technology is interesting, why they believe in this community building aspect of it. Everything that we're talking about here, it's the vehicle, right? It's the vehicle for ensuring that we have more people involved in our world. And that's what we're looking for, right? We want mass adoption to happen. We may have to take a little bit of a, we might have to change our verbs. We may need to change a few things that we do. Might need to take a back seat on some things. But in general, the best thing about it is we're still blueprinting this. And I still believe that we have influence over the direction it goes, right? Because we're hearing people like Polygon listen to us. Because you're seeing people like Reddit onboard people, but still let the humans and still let the people of Reddit steer the ship, right? That's the amazing thing behind all of this. So I appreciate you being with us, Tyler. Appreciate you being with us, Oni. That's everything I had to say in as far as the Reddit direction. If either of you have any closing remarks, feel free to say them now. You're always available to hang out here as long as you want. This is a space for you all to be onboarded into our little family, because we see the value in what you all are doing. As artists, yeah, that's one thing. As community managers, that's great, but more so as humans. So, Oni, take it away.
Hey, so I just had a quick suggestion for anybody that is looking to learn more about Reddit, who's just not on there. There is a subreddit called r/mod certification. It's basically just free education on how to be a moderator for Reddit, but it's got a lot of useful information in there on just conduct and kind of an overview on how these subreddits are ran. So you kind of get an idea of what the background looks like for a lot of these subreddits, and it'll really open your eyes to how engagement works on that platform.
Thank you for that. That's huge. That's massive, right? Like, the whole why behind why we're on Polygon is we believe there's an education behind what we're doing. And for you all to provide that extra education for us, again, we have people, Al's and I were talking about it earlier, Jay and I were talking about it earlier this week. They have the Reddit talks that they're starting off, similar to what we're doing in this direction with spaces. And we want to make sure that we are, bridging that gap, finding avenues for us to express ourselves on both platforms. And we want people to know that is one of the things that we can provide very well, because we have the experience in it. That's patting all of us on the back. I think if you're up here right now, you've hosted a space before. I'm actually certain that if you're up here, you've hosted a space before. Tyler, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just daydreaming. I just think it'd be super cool if Reddit and Twitter could just like come together and merge the talks. That would be so cool, right? They look the same. Reddit obviously took notes from what Twitter was doing, except that right now we don't have the ability to like post something up there in the front. And but yeah, it's pretty cool how these two technologies, these two platforms, are looking at each other and taking notes.
Oni, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, you know what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get the link for the course, and I'll tweet it out.
Let me know when I was gonna say, let me know when you've done it, and I'll chuck it up the top so everyone can have a look at it. Only.
I'll stick it.
Yeah, I was just looking at that as well too. I was going to ask for that. And then the Reddit, I guess they're called Reddit Talk, not Reddit Spaces. I was actually in it, listening to it. Very, very similar to what our spaces are. I just feel like they're unruggable because they're not on mobile phones and on this app. But I think the sharing of information is a little bit more easier on Reddit from my point of view. Tyler? What are your thoughts on that? Can you share like your screen on Reddit and stuff?
Yeah, you can do you can't share. Well, I always do it from my app actually, and it works pretty well. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're at the level that Twitter Spaces are at right now. I hope that we can get a little bit better. But yeah, I mean, it does work very similar.
Yeah, I was on there last night, and I think like out of the whole, I only saw like 4 or 5, maybe just because of their categories. But the room sizes were like 8, 12, 20. I didn't see any rooms that had over like 50 or over 100. Is that something that, or have you been inside those rooms yet?
Yes, I have been inside those rooms. There's some other ones. They get pretty large, and they work pretty well. So, but I did want to thank you guys for letting at least me and Oni Cowboy and inviting us up. And I do think I had to say something in closing. Like I said, as cheesy as it may sound, we're all kind of in this together here, and so we definitely appreciate working through our differences. I'm gonna swallow some of the terms and like rugged and stuff like that. I don't usually use that, and now I'm like trying not to use it in my professional setting. So I blame that on you guys, but I still think you guys are really cool, and you guys are welcome anytime on the Reddit side, just as we feel pretty welcome on the Twitter side. So thanks.
Thank you for that. That means the world. And I can tell you from the professional side, I'm still on the Web 2 grind. I'm still on that perspective. When I get on a Zoom call and my audio doesn't work and I accidentally say, am I rugging? That is truly when I've said it before, fam. And luckily, luckily I was actually rugging, so nobody could hear me when I said it, but I like covered my mouth. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't actually say that. And they're gonna be like, what does that mean, Max? Like, come on. Oh,
that happened. Yeah. That sucks. But it's awesome.
But
One day they'll know.
Exactly. One day they'll know, and they'll know that it's coming from an authentic place of just being great people, right? We're out here to make sure that people have avenues to build, to grow, to connect, and all those things in between. So first and foremost, again, thank you for the thoughts. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for the discussion. Thank you for the education that you just provided us. And I'm just glad that you all feel comfortable as well jumping in our community and having these discussions, because we want this door to be freaking wide open every single day, right? So anytime that you all want to come back, anytime that you all are hosting things, let's continue to build this amazing collaborative, relationship between us, because we believe, again, there's power in good people. And you all, again, exemplify that. So thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you.
Whoo-wee, what an amazing first hour and 50 minutes, fam. I really just appreciate everybody staying with us, everybody hanging out. We're rocking with 87 amazing members of the Web3, digital collectibles, NFT community, whatever you're calling them nowadays. They are here to stay, people. If you don't hear... am I on voice isolation mode? No, I'm on standard. So you heard me pounding the table. If you don't hear the passion that is coming from these humans, I want you to check your pulse. Feel that artery on your neck and see if you're still breathing, because this is what it's all about. The collaborative effort, the nature behind our Web3 world. It is here to stay, and I believe it's also here to continue to grow. So, again, thank you all for coming out. We are currently 50 minutes behind schedule, and that's okay with me. You know what I mean? I knew this was going to kind of go a little bit off the rails. The goal for us is to build these conversations and be very organic in the nature that we're building them. So thank you all for being with us here today. We have some amazing people on stage with us, and I'll be bringing up a few extras as well. If you're requesting and I haven't brought you up stage right away, please give me a little bit of a break here. We have a set schedule with the people that we're supposed to be talking with. I want to leave a few spaces open for when they actually do show up, because we're missing a few people from our second hour highlights, but that's great because we have 5 out of the 6 that are supposed to be here. So amazing. But the moral of the story is we're here to give creators a spotlight in this next hour, 45, whatever it may get to. And we're going to start here with one of our amazing community builders and somebody who's putting his life, his soul, his blood into things that really allow us to grow. And it's going to start off here with Dave Swinbank and what he's doing with the Polygon Alliance. Dave, take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, life and blood and soul. Now that you mention it, yeah, yes, for sure. But that's because I believe so hard in the potential of everything that we can do, and because of so many of you. And it's not a lone build by any stretch. Like, so much of what we've achieved's been achieved together, and that's what's fantastic. I mean, I think where Polygon Alliance is at the moment is reorganizing and restructuring. You know, like everything's come from nothing. There's no budget, there's no resources to fund it, so people, you know, get taken away by life, by real things. So trying to create a bit of a better structure where there's you know, more people taking on maybe a few less tasks is really important. One thing that we have done is we've got the listings sorted out, the requests that were sitting in the back end. That's thanks to Jojo Ombreve. She's incredible, by the way. Anyone that's not involved with her should be checking out what she's doing. Everything she's involved in is awesome. And the support that she's offered to me individually over the last few months has been incredible as well. In terms of what she's doing, she's tidying the website up. She's going to make it look easier. She's going to help people like Owls, Jay, and fans who are current advocates, champions, or mentors. They need to decide what they're called in each of their individual areas, but creating them their own pages so that they can offer funneled support. We've got Amy from NFT Project 76 who's doing Web3 classifieds, and that's a spatial space where we can put events like this in all of our spaces. We can go and highlight mint drops. It's going to be something that creators are going to have access to, and it's going to pull through to the website. And something else that Amy wants to do is build out resources, like verify them, vet them, make sure that they're tools that people can use. And we, you know, she's not going to be able to do all of this by herself. So if there's anyone interested in offering her some support, then feel free to reach out to me. And then Neil, I've spoken to you and Zalgo, and I'm really keen on pushing things like this from like a networking, communication, a relationship kind of manager type role for the community, you know, like for whether they're new people coming in or to help funnel people to people like Matty, Prism, Creative Owls, who's creating content that will help them on board, or whether that's to help support people who are maybe a little bit further along their journey, or to help them build relationships like you've done, or to introduce them to new people through spaces like this. It's about creating these knowledge trees essentially, and then enabling them to grow under other people. So finding people that you can then get to the point that you're at now, so they can do the same thing for the next group of people. And that kind of mentor type relationship is something that we've done so well as a community without necessarily putting any hard processes behind it. And I think with a little bit of effort, which is something that I'm focused on probably more than anything else, it's something that could benefit us massively, can allow us to specialize potentially a little bit, and off the back of that enable us to, you know, actually attack different areas of the market and take advantage of some of the incredible skill sets that we've built. So that's kind of the Polygon Alliance overview right now. In terms of people that are listed, there's some people that have left the space. My intention over the next couple of days is to anyone that hasn't been active anywhere on anything that they've put out in the last 14 days is to drop them an email. And if they don't come back within the next 7 days after that, I'll remove them from the website, but they'll be able to, or Joe will remove them from the website because I don't get it, and I don't have time to learn Wix. But we'll take them off because there's a massive risk associated to being linked with people who aren't active. I get that. And then that's kind of a process that we need to put in place. And I'm thinking like radio silence, right? Like no communication, whatever. There needs to be like a fairly short time frame on sending an email out to people. And if we want this to be a trusted, reputable place, we're going to need some support with all of this. So, yeah, that's kind of the overview really right now for Polygon Alliance. There's been a lot of people who are wanting to support on the DeFi side of things as well, and people that are wanting to get involved in filling out the sort of verified audit process as well a little bit. So it's about adding some actual tools to the trust that we've worked so hard to build, and making sure that we still have these platforms like the spaces to give everyone an opportunity, but to make sure that we're being a bit more defined where people are being supported, you know, a bit more visibly, if that makes sense. So yeah, in short, it's a lot happening, and I need help to get it all done. But I think it massively benefits us all if we're willing to put in the time and effort to do it. In the Discord right now, there's some clear values, people values, more than process values. Anyone that wants to support, I want it to be worked out on an individual basis, because I want you to enjoy it. I don't want it to feel like work, because it's your free time. So yeah, go check out the Discord if you're interested. Go have a look at the values and the things that we want to build Polygon Alliance with. And eventually I'd love it to be able to be at a point where you can push your services, as well as the tools that are being offered, and help generate, through the trust that we've built as a community, help generate you revenue, and potentially Polygon Alliance revenue at the same time through maybe some white labeling products. But we can discuss that if you've got something, right? And yeah, that's it, Neil, for Polygon Alliance at the moment. Everything else is kind of plans, and it's on what happens together and what we want as a community.
Thank you for that, Dave. Yeah, and again, the goals, that everything that we do here in our space, it's that organic nature, it's the resources for people to continue to grow and understand that people are struggling to do all these different things. And, you know, when you get into the Web3 community, you think, again, you put some art on OpenSea, you lazy mint it, you do this, you do that. It seems like a very simple idea, but then they realize how many different facets of this. And the one thing that I hate to see is, and Dave and I, we've talked about this 1,000 times, we've lost a user basis. And it's because, again, 70% of crypto is down from its highs, blah, 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 all those things. But really what it's about is that we're losing people because they get a little bit intimidated by what is here. And the biggest thing that we're losing is we're losing creatives. We're losing the people that inspire each other. And that's the worst thing in the world, because creatives are what going to push this space forward, right? You have devs that are going to push this space forward. You have people like us shouting at the top of their lungs. But the people that dump their heart and their passion into these things are going to continue to motivate all of us. I don't have a platform unless Donatus and Lunaria, all the way in Lithuania, have the idea of what Datorians could be, right? And now I have this avenue to express myself. I have this avenue to grow humans. Whoa, slow down there. I have this avenue to continue to push in the right direction of what the Web3 ideals are. And that's what the Polygon Alliance provides. Dave, I really appreciate that. If everyone can tap into the Polygon Alliance, follow along, jump in the Discord, make sure you get some great resources from them. Our entire goal is to continue to educate, to continue to onboard, and just provide people with what this Web3 world is going to look like. It's not chain agnostic. Again, it's not going to be on one space, or it is chain agnostic. It's not going to be on one space or another. The future is multi-chain, but the Polygon community and what we build organically, it's the people and the resources, and that's what the Alliance provides. So Dave, thank you so much for that overview. I truly appreciate it. We have some amazing people that we're going to kick it over to in a little bit here. Additionally, Oni Cowboy did tweet out oops, I'm on the wrong tweet. Hold on. Oni Cowboy did tweet out that that link to make sure that we could, if we wanted to become a mod, if we want to jump into that, I'm going to pin that to the top so people have that ready and available for them. The entire idea is getting that certification course out there. If you're looking to get into Reddit, if you're looking to dive into their spaces, what they're hosting, that's one of the avenues there. So that's pinned to the top. Jump into that, like it, retweet it, put it in your own DMs. Make sure you have that resource as well. So I wanted to make sure to briefly overview that too. And the last thing I'm going to do is just pin our space to the top one more time. We're scraping that 90 mark. We're scraping that 88 mark. It'd be amazing if we got to 100 people in this beautiful space, because I believe, again, we are doing something great in our community here. We're providing education. We're providing that platform. We're doing it the right way. So just a quick reminder, send out this tweet, press the plus button, shoot it in the DMs of your best friends, text it to your dog walker, whoever wants to be here and getting education in this space. And very quickly, I got to say, this space is sponsored by absolutely no one. It's sponsored by the humans of Web3. It's sponsored by the community that we've built here organically, and it's sponsored by good freaking intentions and the working people of the blockchain. So I want everyone to know that we are here on our own accord. We're not here to win NFTs. We're not here to do this. We're not here to do that. We are here to learn and collaborate and connect in the background, right? Just now, I had somebody reach out to me and say, hey, anybody heading down to Art Basel? I instantly DM'd them the coin, because coin's heading down to Art Basel in Miami in a few weeks, right? These are organic connections, and this is the why, right? This is the why. Good people motivating other people to make amazing change in this Web3 community and in the IRL world. So that's my soapbox. I hope you had enough time to retweet our space. We're going to continue this show and do some amazing things here. I'm going to kick it over to somebody who joined our space at the beginning, gave a little bit of an overview of what he's doing specifically, but I wanted him to give a little bit more discussion on his specific project, what he's built so far, and how far he's really come. I'm going to kick it over to Jay. Jay, take it away.
Gracias, senor. I have to say this this space has been absolutely wonderful so far. It really has. And sometimes, so with my project, sometimes only sometimes I feel like I'm on my own a little bit, because I'm aiming it at a lot of the younger creators and younger artists and parents and children, that market. And that's obviously where I came from. I came from producing colouring books for children, and developed my brand, which is the Squibbles. And I've always pushed this in spaces. I've pushed the Squibbles because the Squibbles really, ultimately, at its core, is a philosophy of kindness, inclusivity, and equality. Because sometimes children get forgotten about, and they get forgotten about with things like this, and they always seem to be the last to be noticed because they're smaller, or their voices aren't as loud, or they're not quite as experienced as grown-ups and stuff. But I've always said this: we're all on a level playing field here. Even the kids, man, the kids and us and the big, huge corporations, we're all on the same playing field. We've all been growing together. We're all continuing to grow together. So with the Squibbles, I wanted to incorporate NFTs into the brand to just future-proof it more than anything, because this is something that's really major that's happening in our society, and children are involved. And so the Squibbles has been an amazing way to connect with younger artists who are producing some fantastic stuff. Artists like Rainbow Morshaw, for example. She's been publishing books and creating NFTs. We've got artists like Jack Tuber. We've got artists like Unicorn Kid Chloe, Abstract Jacob. A lot of these young creators who are being championed by the parents, and I'm champion them because they will only continue to grow, and they're lovely people as well. They're just lovely people, and they've got a great attitude. And so with the Squibbles, what I wanted to do originally was just have colouring books, and now it's NFTs, and now we're making a TV show because I wanted to bring some kind of education to children where they can learn to draw a character. So they'll basically be learning to draw along at the beginning of the show, and then it kind of transitions into a 3D animated and 3D rendered stop motion-esque episode based around one of the characters from the Squibbles. The first episode being Colin, who is in my PFP. He loves music, loves vinyl. Want to educate kids about vinyl and cassette tapes and cool bands that they've probably never heard of, but the parents probably have. So that's underway. I've got a small team on that, but I created an NFT collection for this to fund it. And so far, so good. The holders are a small group at the moment. I'm hoping it will grow to help us fund the first episode, because I've got it's funny. Carlo, who is the 3D animator, he is basically, it's turned into a passion project for him, really. And I don't want that to be the thing. I don't want that to be the case. I don't want him to have to do it for no money, because ultimately, if someone comes along and says, "Hey, Carlo, here's loads of money for a job," we're going to lose him for I don't know how long, working on the project. So I feel it's really crucial to get people on board with the NFTs, because A, they're funding a show for kids. B, people that buy the NFTs are able to, they get the name on the credits. They basically become producers of the show. It shows that they're really supportive of the young community, and shows that they're serious about bringing something to the masses that no one's done before. No one has done it before. And I think that's important as well. You know, the children don't need to know it's been funded through NFTs, but what they need to do is be able to have access to a future collection when they're hooked onto the show, where they go, oh, that's cool. I've got, you know, there's collectible cards or collectible 3D avatars that, you know, I can share with my friends. And I know there are people in this community building this stuff now. So the Squibbles are going to be, believe it or not, this happened yesterday. The Squibbles are going to be at Art Basel. They're going to be in Miami. And I'm really excited about that. And that's thanks to Forest Vixens, who have kind of teamed up with them. They're massively into supporting the young artists and young community. So it's Forest Vixens. Some other amazing names I want to mention. Anna Skates, she's just like Mr. Rogers in female form. Face Painted Kids. All these people are really like pushing forwards, doing amazing stuff. And so if you get a chance, Coin, if you go into Art Basel, please try and find the Squibbles, because we're going to be doing activities with the kids. And they're going to be making their own squibbles and all sorts of stuff. So very exciting. Thanks everyone for tuning into my voice for these mere 10,000 minutes.
Oh, Jay, you continue to inspire us. You continue to motivate us. There can't be enough words that I say about Jay, truly, because he's somebody who, at the very beginning, my creators looked up to, right? Like my artists looked up to from the beginning. And then, you know, Jay started saying these amazing things about our project specifically and started tweeting out like, oh, you're worried about rugged projects. You're worried about all this, all that. He made his list and he wrote our name on the list. And it was like, whew, you know what I mean? It was one of those moments where we knew we had something, right? We had this lightning in a bottle from a proven person who's out here, who's grinding and who lives the Web3 ideals. On top of that, the tech that Jay is working through, the AR, the augmented reality, the development of his TV show. I mean, like, there's so many different avenues and so many great ways to build. And Jay, you exemplify that each and every day, my friend. And I'm just glad that I can truly at this point call us each other friends, because now it's a great relationship that we've built. And I just want to give you a bunch of love there. Appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate you as well. Thanks for that. He's making me blush. It's hard to make me blush. I appreciate you a lot. Thank you.
And again, just a real human in our space. Please, everybody, I pointed a bunch of tweets to the top. Feel free to like them, retweet them, from Spatial to the animated show to everything that he's building on his end. Jay is a beast out here, one of the OG builders and one of our amazing creators here. And we love spotlighting people who put their heads down but keep their eyes up, right? That's the entire goal here. So continue to build, continue to thrive. Jay, thank you so much. Follow along with Jay Stansfield, his entire story, family. That is our entire goal here, to make sure that these people have support. And whatever that means in Europe, if it's a like, if it's a retweet, it's a follow, if it's a DM saying, Jay, you inspire me. Those are things that really get me going. And Jay is somebody who puts his face out there each and every day, like a lot of us do, so that you know that he's a real human in this space and that you know that he's here to provide these avenues for our builders. So, Jay, thank you so much again. So, again, we have a list. We want to keep going down the list. We're going to get some more people up here and having some conversation. The next person I'm going to kick it over to is somebody who we have heard from already, and then we're going to go to some new faces as well. We have Creative Owls, who's hosting a bunch of amazing, metaverse events in Spatial. He's been consistent for the Polygon community, and now he's really opening up the door to a few spooky things that are happening this Halloween. So, Creative, do you want to highlight some of those things real quick?
Yeah, I'll highlight a couple of things that we do for the Polygon. The first one is the Polygon Showcase. This is an event that we started way back last year around this time when we started putting small galleries together. We started with the Christmas. We haven't done one. We haven't done two. We've done 4 of them. We have total over 18,500 metaverse visits to these environments that we put together. So there's a lot of visibility. Over the last showcase, we had 1,000 new people come check out our artwork and check out our showcase. So this is a great opportunity for digital artists and collectors to connect in the metaverse. This is what my brand is. We help Web3 brands and digital creators connect, learn, and sell art in the metaverse. We've had an amazing experience with that. We've got some crazy events that we've got going on. One of them I wanted to talk about and just be transparent with you was our Polygon award ceremony. And this is something that we wanted to do, is reward the Polygon community with the creators. We were gonna do it in November. We're gonna push it out to around February, just to kind of let this momentum come back before we do that award show. So I want to give a brief on that. I have helped onboard creators from all over the world. And I don't even know what the number is, but I've been able to do it within the metaverse and using spatial. So we had a great outcome with that. And that's been a great thing for the Polygon community. Another thing that I do is that I created the Creative Owls Polygon monthly newsletter. And I ramped it up at the beginning of the year. I kind of slowed down, personal things, had a baby, but now we're ramping it back up. And this is a newsletter that we have, and I encourage you guys to subscribe to it. We have a lot of people subscribe to it. Is that we highlight what's happening in the Polygon blockchain. We highlight some of the topics that we're covering today. We even highlight some of the Twitter spaces for you guys to know around the Polygon community for you to attend. Not only that, we actually have educational videos with YouTube videos, but we also do spot highlight artists, where we highlight an artist for the month, and we give them some questions to highlight what they're doing within the community. And I think this is a great way to market us within our community. But now we're extending it. Now we're adding the metaverse part to it. We're going to be highlighting Polygon metaverses and community metaverses as well too, to highlight some of the cross pollination. At NFT NYC, one of the number one thing that I learned is how important it is to cross pollinate, and how important it is to co-brand events and co-brand activities are. And that's the things that I'm going to be looking forward into 2023. I'm looking for the best of the best of the best creators to work with me. I've been the privilege to work with somebody that I've had a privilege with is High CC, and it really enjoyed seeing her journey and the collaboration, what she's doing within the metaverse, and what we've been able to build together. And she's a Polygon Alliance member, a Polygon artist. So I just want to give some highlights to her and some of my Owl Angels that support me. So that's kind of where I've been at with the metaverse and the newsletter. Now I'm going over to YouTube. I love video content creation. I love creating content. I love producing things, and I love educating those. So I've now tailored my YouTube channel more for the educational side, more on spatial, and I eventually want to build out a series to help creators and collectors use this new platform within the Polygon. And that really came from a Skirpy space. Skirpy we were having trouble with it and trying to figure it out. And I said, man, I can illustrate this. I can figure this out. How can I express this? How can I educate others? So looking forward to pump the YouTube channel. I think I've only had it for a couple months. We're at almost up to 500 followers. The goal is to hit 1,000. Then the fun really starts. And then I'm trying to get to 100,000. So really excited about the YouTube channel and what we're going to be creating on that. So if you guys already have it, we've already pinned one up there for you guys. And the last thing is that we do Twitter Spaces, and this is something that I think we're on show over 200 now. We started with Mega Retro in the host seat. We now migrated it over to me for the host seat, and now I'm bringing in other co-hosts to talk about it. Mondays we talk about NFT community updates and milestones, where we ask you to share within the community, what are you working on? What's the latest milestone? So then as a community, we can network with each other and work with each other. Fridays is more on the educational side. We talk about current events. So a lot of things that we talked about here today is what we talk about on the Friday session. And then we have the educational sessions on digital marketing, educational. And it is such a fun show. We've been doing it for a while. A lot of people have come on there for their first time to get onboarded. I'm chain agnostic, so it doesn't matter what blockchain you're on. But you obviously know I'm drinking that Polygon blockchain. So those are the things that I'm working on moving forward. In Spatial, which is a metaverse platform, we've helped them create the Polygon Takeover. It was the day that the entire Explorer tab was dedicated to Polygon, and we were able to get within our community the second blockchain was Polygon on Spatial. So shout out to everybody that participated on that. So I've just been an advocate, trying to help other people and trying to lead myself and others into this space. Polygon Studios, the way that a lot of people ask is, how does Polygon Studios work? Being a partner, what are the perks that you get from it? And I think Dave and other people ask from it. So just to be transparent, Polygon Studios, 90% of what they're focusing on is on dApps gaming right now. The NFT community, it's a slow start. Neil can attest for that. But they're slowly starting to come up with new things to help us out. So some of the things that they do is that they're obviously going to create Twitter Spaces, but they're working on a program to help us out. Not only that, they're sending me DMs and leads from people from all over the world to connect with to bring awareness to the Polygon, because this is just a small portion of Polygon. There's an entire portion of Polygon that's sleeping right now in Asia that we don't even know about. There's another Creative Owl over there. There's another Scorpio over there that they're building as well too. So they're going to help us kind of connect the two dots together. I know I've talked a little bit of a lot of talking points. So overall, I'm here to educate, to help the community. I'm unruggable, I feel like, just because I've been here for so long and I've been able to go through this. And I'm really trying to work with other leaders. So if you're a leader in the space, you're trying to get it popping, you need some help, or if you want to collaborate, please feel free to reach out to me. Go to my website, which is probably the most professional realm that you can take, and we can set up a meeting and we can work together. So that's a little bit of background on myself, what I'm doing, and what I'm building here in Polygon.
Thank you, Creative. That means the world, truly. And again, you hear all the revenue. Yep, the revenue, that's not the right word. Eventually, we'll get there, right? You hear all the avenues, revenue avenues. There's my brain slipping a little bit. Another monster needed, right, Coin? You hear all the avenues that, you're approaching from, the metaverses, the events, the connections. Like, this is not something that happened overnight for Creative or happened overnight for any of us. It's a consistent effort that was definitely with an intention, right? You don't go into this world and just expect, to put up great art and for it to bada bing, bada boom, sell. That's not how this works anymore. If you want to do that, you can jump in your time machine into 2021 or 2020 when we were all just jumping inside and hanging out during COVID, and that might work, right? Nowadays, you have to build these pillars of evidence, right? You have to build the why, and you have to expose yourself on multiple channels, guys. So if you're not tapping into what Creative Owls does, I encourage you, do that right now. Jump up in his pin tweet, learn about the metaverse, learn about spatial, learn about the avenues of growth, follow along with the story. And Owls, I just got to give you credit where credit's due. Without you, there's no me. That's what it is, right? The Mega Creative Show, and what, I came in there with Big Nil Collect. I was spewing just crap, right? Like, I didn't have any skills, right? I wasn't ready for what we had to do here. And you all didn't deter me. You never scared me. You never pushed me away. All you did was, Nil, slow down, speak from the heart, get effective. And now, where we are now, right? I just got to give love. We're at over 100 people in this space right now. All right, we just dipped to 99. It's okay. We're at over 100 in this space right now, and our entire goal is to continue to grow, and that is what it is. It's about this organic community. It's about what we're building collectively. There is no sponsors. There is no giveaways. This is education and the goals behind the Web3 community. So we have a lot of extra people we want to talk to, but I just want to juice up the room a little bit more. If you haven't tapped into your community now, if you haven't sent this out to your friends, your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, make sure you do, because you want them to have this education. You want them to have these resources, and you want them to know what's coming in the Web3 world. I had the classic Pump It Up song, but I'm not going to play that because we don't need that. Creative, take it away one more time there.
No, I just want to say thank you to that. And again, what I talked about today, there's no bad communities. There's just bad leaders. This is a book Extreme Leadership, a book that I read with Jocko. And what we've done within the Polygon community is that we've got some of the best leaders in this space that are up here today, or they're down here listening, that they've been in space. That's why we're successful. That's why we're structured. Other blockchains, I'm not knocking them, but they just don't have that structured foundation. So I just want to say thank you to my guy, Dave, really, for kind of laying the foundation for myself. And I owe a lot of my success to Dave and Beluga and my entire community for pushing me to be, because there was times where I was like, man, what the fuck am I? Sorry, what am I doing? How do I make this better, right? And my community was just pushing me to be better and keep encouraging me to keep moving forward. So I just also want to say thank you to everybody that's listening, that's been a part of the ride and supporting our community growth throughout the beginning and where we're at now. So that's the last thing I'm going to say. I just want to say thank you. I'm going to cut myself off, and I'm going to move myself down because I also want to be respectful and let some other speakers come up here. So thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Big shout out to Neil, Dave, and Coin. You guys are freaking amazing. Thank you.
It's what it's all about, fam. It's what it's all about, right? Providing those resources. And now I get to stand on the shoulders of those who provided me those resources to start off. So that's what it's all about, fam. and we're rocking. We're rolling. We're 100% transparent, everybody. We're an hour behind schedule. I give it 40 minutes behind schedule. And we have some amazing people that jumped up here as well to hang out with us, to vibe with us, to connect with us. And I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak. So please, if you have time with us, please be patient. Please hang out. Please do that. If you got to go and you got to come back, also fine. But it's one of those things we want to make sure that people have an avenue to express themselves and everything in those. And that's why we're really here, to make sure we shed light onto the amazing builders of our space. So like I said, one more time, we're going to, put a tweet to the top. Let's get our numbers above 100. Let's continue to pump this algorithm game. Let's make sure that we're here providing the quality education in the Polygon community, because honestly, I'm going to pat myself on the back. This is the biggest Polygon community space we've ever held. This is the biggest town hall we've ever collectively done. And it's all because it's nothing I did special, everybody. Nothing I did special. It's all of you. It's why you all came together. It's why we are building as a collective. It's because all of our communities, when they come together, we are a raging monster that can't be stopped. That's what I believe that Polygon provides for us. And on top of that, we're just great humans. We're good humans that deserve the avenue to build and have these accessible utilities in our NFTs as well. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to somebody who's been hanging on the stage, but we have not heard from yet. I have a list here. We're going to go down the list. I'm not, stay with us. Everyone here is going to speak in the next 20, 30 minutes. So give me a second here. I'm sorry. But we have somebody up here who's been an OG in the Polygon community for a long time. He's got amazing art. He's got amazing utility. His project continues to move, shake, evolve. And somebody who actually bridged his project, probably from a brand, from the Web 2 to the Web 3 world. We have Taco Tribe up here with us today. Ryan, how's your Saturday treating you?
Sorry, I had to do that. I heard you talking. Yo,
that's why we're here, my friend. How's your day treating you?
It's good. I got out of work a few hours ago. I took a little nap and I got up just specifically for the space. Probably need a little bit more sleep, but it's been a good day so far. I just want to say that this space is like freaking electric. So much information, and like just your vibe is like amazing today. I loved it so much, and I'm just having a great time in here just hanging out with all of you guys. So I really appreciate you having me.
Thank you, Ryan. That means the world. Yeah, and again, I'm somebody that leads with passion. I'm somebody that leads with the goals of what we're doing here in the Polygon ecosystem. And if I sell myself to something, I dump my entire self into something, right? And so that's why I'm here, because I've been provided these avenues to grow and really explore what this Web3 technology can be. So to kick it off, and just to give a little bit of overview of your background, right? Somebody who started in the Web 2 world, what Taco Tribe, is that bridging of the gap, like we're saying here, all the branding that you've done in the background. Can you give us like a 2 to 3 minute like explanation of your artist background and how things started for you?
Yeah. So I'm not the original artist of the taco. When I do art myself, and I am drawing something right now, but the way I moved from Web 2 to Web 3 is I originally, my personal brand online is actually Taco Tribe, for like my YouTube that I did for about 10 years and my Twitch stream and stuff like that. So I had taco merch and all that stuff for many years before I ended up finding NFTs. And the taco was created in like 2015 just as a little mascot. And it kind of evolved because I was into crypto since like 2017. Last year, little over a year ago now, I found out what NFTs were. Did some research, found out that it's really amazing people selling their art, and I've always been drawn to art. So I was like, I didn't really think about making a collection or selling out or anything like that. It wasn't about the money. It was kind of just like, I love to learn. So I'm like, how could I make an NFT collection, and how can I learn how to do this? So I spent a few months, learning about the space, learning about OpenSea, the other platforms and stuff like that. And I was like, I could try this. Why not? So we got all the assets. And we originally launched directly on OpenSea because I didn't know much, so I didn't know anything about the smart contract and stuff. And eventually, I learned the importance of a smart contract, connecting dApps and all that stuff. So we transitioned from the OpenSea direct contract to an actual contract that I basically learned how to do from a tutorial, and that's kind of like the best way to learn. I feel like it. There's so many people learning right now and that are willing to share information. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten half as far if it hasn't been for most of the people in this room giving me advice, helping me out, and just guiding me in the right direction. So it's been a crazy ride so far, and I feel like I just started learning, and it feels like it's been a year in the space. It feels like it's been 5 years, and I like I haven't been passionate about something um, in a long time like this passionate, where I want to grind every day. I want to build every day. I want to connect with people in the same space that have the same mindset as me. It's kind of like when I first started YouTube back in like 2010, where I just wanted to connect with everybody doing the same thing as me. And now I kind of found that passion again with NFTs, and it's been very refreshing. It's been amazing, and I can't wait to see what the future brings. As in building and stuff like that, we have done a lot. I have learned a lot. It's all about learning for me. So if I see something like, staking, airdrops, things like that, I want to learn how to do that, and I want to incorporate that into my project. And I also want the people that are supporting me to feel like they're getting, I guess, like their money's worth. They're feeling like they're part of the community and stuff like that. So we hold a lot of giveaways, contests, and we have like a second collection. We have a free collection. If you have one of the tacos, you can just claim a pixel taco for free. And it's been awesome. And I've learned, I feel like, so much, but there's still so much for me to learn. And that's like what really gets me excited about the space is I feel like I know a lot, but I'm just scratching the surface. And I just have met so many, like I can just scroll down and just see so many amazing people that I know personally from just being in the space for a year. And it's like, so like, it warms my heart that like all these people are still here. They're still all learning just like me. And we still all have like the same passion. So the NFT space has been amazing. And I just want to say something about Reddit real quick. So I've been on Reddit for a long time, and this whole digital collectible thing that Reddit has done they did it like flawlessly. Obviously I already knew what NFTs were, so like setting up the vault and all that stuff, I was like, okay, this is cool. It was super easy. And they give you, your seed phrase. They give you, so like, not your keys, not your crypto, all that stuff. So they give you your key. They give you like the seed phrase and all that stuff, which is absolutely amazing. I know there's some other platforms that do similar things, but it's basically just all on their platform. You can't get the seed phrase. It's not really your wallet. And Reddit's amazing. They onboarded so many people. They're giving out like millions of NFTs just to get people in the space, and it's working. And I love it so much. I love how, and people will learn this eventually, like you can take your Reddit vault and you can add it to MetaMask, which I've done. So I can actually access, my Reddit vault on OpenSea from MetaMask. And I feel like that's just another way that they're just, eventually when people, want to learn a little bit more, they'll realize they can do that. They can take the wallet that was given to them for free, made super easy, and they can use it on different platforms and connect to different dApps and things like that. And it's been great. Like they really did everything perfect. And I love Reddit so much. I'm on Reddit every single day, all the time. So like, just for them to like kind of like show the love to something that I'm so passionate about, it just makes me like very, very excited for the future and different websites integrating NFTs and things like that as well. Yeah. 2 minutes.
Exactly. 2 minutes, right? No, but thank you, Ryan, for that. Seriously, I love the overview. As you know, I'm a taco holder myself. Huge proponent of what you're building, because the consistency and the way that you're flexible with everything that you're doing too, always engaging with the community, always finding new ways to build, always finding new ways to interact with what Web3 and NFTs are all about, right? Every drop that I get, every airdrop, it like, it doesn't make me laugh because it's funny, but it makes me like smile, it makes me chuckle a little bit, because it's all inspired by different things that you're seeing in the Web3 world and NFTs and art and all those things. So I appreciate that. I get inspired by people who find inspiration from everything around them, and you're definitely one of those people. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people that I've learned from, and that like so the way I've like to build is I see something that someone else is doing, and I'm like, how would I do that? And the first thing I'll do is I'll ask them. I'm like, so how did you go about doing this? And then they'll give me a little preview of what's it about, and I'm like, okay, that's freaking awesome. So then I'll take that little knowledge I have, I'll do some more research, I'll look up tutorials, and I'll learn how to do it, and I'll come back to them and be like I built this because you showed it to me, you told me how to like go about doing it, and like it's just all helping each other. And the same with me, like if I learn something from someone else and then someone comes to me and is like, how would I do this, I don't there's no gatekeeping or anything. I'm like, yeah, this is the exact things that I looked at. Like you can do your own research and of course, but like this is what I found. If you want to look at it, this is it. This is how I learned how to do it. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I'm very open. I'm very willing to like talk to anybody all the time. No matter how many like followers or anything. Like the same with like collaborations. We've done collaborations with many people in this space right now, and it doesn't matter how many like followers you have at the time. If you're like passionate about it, I'm willing to work with you. And it's been such a great way to like connect with other communities. It's been a great way to connect with like owners of projects that have the same mindset as me, and that's kind of just what I really want to do, is connect with people with the same mindset, the same passions as me. So it's been a really awesome ride so far.
Amazing, my friend. I really appreciate you being with us here today. I know you're busy. You got IRL work. You got 1,000 other things going on in your world, but you always make time to build. And now you're making time for us, which is a huge portion of it. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Guys, I want to encourage everybody, jump up in the Jumbotron, retweet Ryan's work, jump into his project, dive into his Discord. Make sure you engage with these people, right? Because these are the consistent builders that have been out here for a very long time, who want to express themselves, who want to teach you, who want to encourage this collaborative effort that we've been consistently pushing in the Web3 world. And Ryan and Taco Tribe, what they do, they exemplify all those ideals for us. So, Ryan, thank you for being with us here today. Oh, Jay's hand up. Jay, quickly respond to something there.
For some reality about Taco Tribe, for about Ryan, right? He's the only American I've ever heard in real time order a bacon butter from a drive-through.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I didn't know what that is either, dude.
Don't go there. Just don't go there. Stop now and move on to the next person.
Yep. We're behind schedule. Everyone focus. I'm going to retool, refocus, re-energize what we're doing around here. Yep. Thank you, Coin. I appreciate the sound. Actually, it's not a sound effect. It's actually IRL bell, which makes it that much cooler. We have 107 people in this room. Thank you all for hanging out with us here today. If I see you, I love you. I appreciate you. I would run down the list and shout out everybody, but to be honest, ain't nobody got time for that. We got some amazing people up here that need to say their piece. Make sure we keep moving through our list here. And I encourage everybody to hang out, engage, interact. Ryan, wrap up here. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I was just going to say thank you guys very much for having me. I really appreciate the time, and I'm going to keep listening, but I'm going to jump down to let some more people up here.
Thank you, Ryan. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, like I said, guys, interact with what Taco Tribe's building. It's special. There's a lot of different layers to it, and I want everyone to encourage everyone to jump in, learn something new from a new creator, a new designer, a new builder. There's so many different avenues to grow in Web3, and that's what Taco Tribe does each and every day. So, because we're running on schedule, I don't want to see him rushing anybody, but we are 40 minutes behind here. So I want to make sure that everyone has a stage and everyone has time. I know they got other things to do in the world. We're going to kick it over to somebody who's been on stage the entire space, and I believe you needs a little bit of light shine on what they're building here. So I'm going to kick it over to Hermie and the Meta Rides. Hermie, how you doing?
Good, Nil. How are you? So I'm going to go super fast. I know you're behind schedule. I do want to say to the space that I feel like you're the right guy at the right place at the right time. I sent that DM to you from the Hermie account. You are doing a bang-up job, and it means a lot that you're bringing the poly community together. So I want to start there. The second thing that I want to do is pin to the top a giveaway that is ending tonight. It is tied to TikTok and Instagram. We are trying to grow our brand on those two platforms. Also, Hermie, myself, I'm rapping in that video. So if you want a good laugh, go to that TikTok link and check it out. At the very least, reshare that pinned tweet. We are creating 3D vehicles for upcoming Unity and Unreal Engine 5 metaverse platforms. So please give us a follow. For that matter, follow all the Poly people in this space. I'm going to switch gears a little bit, see what I did there. I would like to focus more on Poly than MetaRides at this moment. I feel like there need to be more Poly spaces. So when you're creating a space, don't be afraid to throw Poly inside your header and share that link with all of the Poly projects that you're aware of and you are, in your squad or even outside your squad for that matter. I think that there need to be Twitter groups that are started that are Poly related for current and future builders. I think that that's a big step in the right direction for the Poly community. And then also support any Poly projects in any way. Retweets go a long way. Share. DM what you like to other people that you're familiar with, et cetera, and use hashtag Polygon NFTs on all your tweets. I think that that's going to make a difference, and it's going to be one step at a time. One person that I know is coming up is Skirpy. I think that Skirpy has put a spotlight on the Poly brand, and I'm super happy that we decided on Poly even before Skirpy, that project Skirpy Town took off. I'm a big holder in that project. And I believe in Skirpy and I believe in Poly. So I feel like, again, I think that the MetaRides brand is launching at the perfect time where it seems like the community is starting to rally. And I'm super excited about it. So follow the MetaRides account, follow the Hermie account, which is down below. Deturians, I appreciate the space. And hopefully that was quick enough to get you a little bit back on schedule.
Lightning fast, and I truly appreciate you, because what you're doing over here is amazing, and I really appreciate everything that, like you're saying here, right? The entire goal for us is to encourage everyone to connect, collaborate, get these connections, and this is not me short selling what we've already done, right? We had all these things, we had all this everything pumping in a good direction in January, February, but with the dip with where things went, we had a little bit of a fluctuation on our general user bases, right? So those things dispersed a little bit. But what this Reddit, wave is providing is that extra shot of adrenaline that we needed to get back on track, to make sure we get we get hella organized, and that we really push in the right direction to make sure that we keep this collaborative effort, because this is the next move we need, right? And I'm just happy that I have this platform and that this space is having so much success. Dave, I was joking around the DMs. We were having this issue. I threw this space up in Skirpy's space. I hastily did it. I didn't press record, and then I freaked out because I didn't think anybody was going to get it. If you change the space, nobody gets the notifications, blah, blah, blah. I was freaking out, right? But then I flipped over record, and look at this. It didn't matter. Oh, my God, it's working so well. Things are going in the right direction. So I'm going to tell previous Nil, chill out a little bit, right? Go easy on yourself, kid. But in general here, guys, I appreciate that sentiment, Hermie. And guys, tap in with MetaRides, tap into their giveaway. Make sure that you encourage everybody to like, retweet, post up to the top of what's going on here. And I want to make sure everyone has a space to support each other, right? And that's what Hermie does through Web 2 to Web 3 capabilities with his original project, and now what MetaRides is building on their end. It's truly amazing. Tony, Matic Man, do you want to say something on that really quick? Sorry, Matic Man. I'm sorry,
I didn't mean to jump up. I'm waiting my turn. Sorry, Neil.
No, I saw your mic open. I just want to make sure I wasn't cutting you off with anything. Any questions specifically? No, for sure. So my entire goal, obviously, with the space, I appreciate that, Herm, because we're going to get through some people here in a much quicker pace now, because you gave a little bit of avenue. And again, but I don't want to short sell it. MetaRide is going to be something amazing. I want people to tap into it. I want people to understand who Hermie is, because it's a good human who's building on multiple platforms and giving accessibility to and a little bit of visibility, right, to our projects and to the Polygon ecosystem. So, Hermie, thank you so much for spending time here with us today. And without you DMing me and saying, Nil, lock this up, let's do this, I may have just faltered and we may have not been here today, but now we're going to be here weekly, pumping out these spaces, encouraging everybody. And one thing actually that we're doing in the background, and Coin is taking care of this as well, we actually have currently, I'd say 6 to 8 spaces that are hosted by Polygon-centric people. Now, we haven't branded them as such, but now we have this momentum, right? We have this vibe. Let's make sure we double down, we triple down, we quadruple down on the efforts there, because that's going to be really the push that we need here. So I appreciate that as well, Hermie. So with that being said, somebody's name was mentioned up here that I think is providing those avenues, right? That is providing the opportunity that we need to continue to grow, continue to learn, and connect through all these multiple platforms. And really, we're trying to sift through the weeds here a little bit, right? There's a lot of, confusion. There's Reddit, there's Twitter, there's this, there's that. What if there was somewhere you could go that was Web3, NFT centric? It was ability to have these spaces. You can communicate with each other more effectively. You could watch live artists and drawers. What if there was a platform like that? I don't know if anybody up here is building anything like that, but I'm going to kick it over to my good friend Timmy and see if he has anything to say about it.
Yeah, 100%. What's up, guys? I love seeing everyone in here. Everyone's so hardworking. Everyone's working super hard. So respect to everyone. Yeah, Skirpy has been my life's work. I've been working on this thing for about a year straight now. We're deep into development now. Front end development's done, but it's a one-stop shop. So my vision was, when I initially thought about Skirpy, was I was going to Telegram and Reddit and Facebook and Twitter. I was going all over the place trying to find out about NFTs and crypto and which projects to buy. So I always thought everything should be in one spot. So luckily, the Skirpy brand got pretty strong, and I've been able to acquire a bunch of talent over the past year, ranging from full stack blockchain developers, UI team, product designers. I've been able to put together a superstar cast. And I'm starting to think while sitting here, foundations, Ethereum, right? And they have all these beautiful user interfaces and stuff. So my plan is to not only be for Polygon, right? That's not realistic. I think a social media platform should be also for Ethereum, AVAX, Cardano, Solana, right? All the Tezos, all those other blockchains as well. But I would like to, on Skirpy 2.0, guys, all these marketplaces are always the same, right? They're just a marketplace, but I really think we're going to move the space a couple of years forward with what we're going to drop. You're going to be able to live stream while on calls like this. There's going to be a marketplace. You're going to be able to live chat while you're in calls like this. If you're in a space like this, you would just swipe right, and then you guys will be able to actually live chat with each other while in here. You could tip the co-host and hosts. We're working on potentially the ability to tip the spaces. So if Deturians was hosting the State of Polygon NFT space, right, you guys could all donate maybe some money or whatever. And then after the spaces end, he could determine, where he wants that money sent, what charity, etc. So each space could theoretically have its own wallet. So we're working on some pretty cool stuff between Wallet Connect with emails, talking and calls, and all these really pretty cool stuff. So, we're deep into development. I've spent every penny I've had developing this, and I've never asked for anything. So I did a free mint a couple months ago, and I was just giving away to everyone. I paid for the gas. It made sense with me to do it via Polygon because gas fees and stuff. I didn't want to pay like $40,000 in gas fees if I used Ethereum. So it made sense to do it with giving it away and loading it up with gas. So I basically brought like 5,500 people to Polygon, I would say, that didn't use it originally for the most part. So I keep doing it. I keep trying to get more people over to Polygon. It's great for a reward structure. That's why I do think a lot of these Web2 companies are going to Polygon, right? You come 10 times, you buy a coffee 10 times, you'll get a free NFT. There's something special to that. You feel like you get something, and it doesn't really cost them very much. So I really do like Polygon for reward structures. It's the closest thing that I've found so far to a credit card in the space, that if I'm going to be sending you an NFT, it won't cost me $5, or if I'm going to be minting it, it won't cost me $5, right? It's only going to cost me like a fraction of a penny. So I look at it, it's a lot of positives to it. And pinned above, guys, I did it's Skirpy Town NFT. There was only 10,000 of them I initially gave away. And luckily, it was a 20,000 piece collection. So it's very, I guess you can call it unique, right? It's different than the most collections. I try to do things a little differently. I don't want to be like everyone else. So, I made it a 20K collection. I loaded it up so everyone that minted, the gas was paid for. And I've been struggling, though, I only released 1,000 more for you guys to be able to mint before I lock it up. And I've been struggling getting people to come to Polygon because it was such a pain in the ass. I had it you had to wrap your ETH, and it was just very confusing for people. So I changed the process, pinned above, where you could just use straight, Matic Polygon. Please don't use the ERC20 blockchain when you do it. Please, please, please don't make that mistake. We've had that happen too. So, yeah, it's not the easiest, obviously, and over time, I think that there'll be solutions that come up and make it easier for everyone. But if you guys are interested in supporting what we're doing, it's like $10 or so. It's 14 Matic. You guys can mint, and this is probably the space to talk to because you guys actually know how to use Polygon and stuff. So, it would help a ton. And yeah, I already put a cool little utility behind it. It's nothing crazy, but if you have a Skirpy Town NFT, and if you're an NFT artist or an NFT project, I have a Twitter community, which is a new feature on Twitter. And you can see it if you go to my Twitter profile. It says NFT Artists and Projects. I think it's the 5th largest NFT Twitter community. I will grind it to, number 1 or number 2, right up there. So my plan is to basically, if you own a Skirbytown NFT, I put together a list. Hey, if you want to be featured, let me know if you own one. And I randomly just put you guys there for advertising, 6 hours, 12 hours a day, whatever, and just cycle around you guys and pin you guys up in there. Featured artist, featured project. And that's advertising space you would probably pay $50 for on Facebook or $100 for on different platforms. That, I don't know, it's a real utility. It's not like some staking thing, and then you got to you get these coins, and then you can buy this, which you never even get to. The thing rugs before that. So, I'll plan on doing some cool stuff once I sell out the remaining 10,000 on Skirpy 2.0. I really do think I do have the best tech in the NFT space coming. I swear to God, it's built with the React framework. It is super functional. It's sick. So, I'm really just thinking Foundation, all these Ethereum artists are all spoiled. I would love to add, and also beta testing wise, right? Like we have to beta test the product. And I'm thinking if you have a Skirpytown NFT, it would make sense for helping to beta test and stuff. So who knows, maybe we'll launch it initially with Ethereum and Polygon so that you guys have basically a world-class platform that you guys can actually showcase your work on besides like OpenSea. I mean, OpenSea doesn't really give you much showcasing functionality. Like on my platform, on your profile for created and collected, you'll be able to actually select the piece you want to showcase, make it bigger than the other ones, pin it up. Like it's a lot better of experience for you guys. So yeah, I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do with it. And there could be some other cool utilities behind it on Skirpy 2.0. Luckily for me, I have full stack blockchain developers in house, so it's not as hard, and I don't have to worry as much as probably the normal NFT project. But why did I pin that up first? 500. I didn't mean to do that. Jesus. What's that up there for?
That was me. My bad. I thought that that was the community space.
That is the community. Yeah. Guys, that is the Twitter community. You're right. I forgot. I woke up to Turians. I jumped myself in the shower. I'm here. Guys, so yeah, join the Twitter community. You guys can see there's different artists pinned up in there. That's my plan, though. I know it's not like, I'm not promising you guys $1 quadrillion, but I am going to get more eyes on your projects and stuff, and I am doing that utility, and it's going to be useful. It's going to get you guys more likes. Every artist I put in there so far got like 15 likes, 22 likes, 20 likes, and that helps, guys. Those are real people coming to your thing, like, and my plan is to get this community to number 1, and then eventually I just pin up a different artist in there, then boom, they get 100 likes throughout the 12 hours or a day. How awesome would that be? So, yeah, that's the plan with it, guys. And if you guys want to, mint, it's pinned above. It's like $10 or $12. It helps a ton. It's expensive, obviously. My hosting alone, it's like $1,250 a month, $1,300 a month with AWS. That's obviously because my site's built with WordPress. The code is too heavy. So with the React framework, it'll be a lot lighter, a lot more efficient. I cannot wait to showcase it. And it's coming, guys, and it's real. So I appreciate everyone up here. And yeah, let's make Polygon great again. It helped me out a ton. I used to send people NFTs on Solana, and it was 10, 15 cents every goddamn time. And I was like, damn, I can't do this forever. I'm literally losing $100 for every time. This sucks. So Polygon was my solution, right? So it actually does have a real utility for sure. So, it saved me a ton of money, and it allowed people to feel very happy and excited about, being able to mint an NFT and not having to load it up with Matic. It was already done for them. It cost me a fraction of a penny. So, there are going to be more people coming to the Polygon blockchain for sure pretty soon. I would just, I'm positive about it. It just makes sense.
Thank you for that, Timmy. Seriously. And on top of that, I just got to give you love for everything that you're building, everything that you're continuing to do. You provided a platform for what we really want to do here, right? Like you provided the avenue for growth. And again, I've said this about a lot of people in this space. I've said it about Owls. I've said it about Dave. I've said it about a lot of people here. There's no Datorians without you, right? When we were in the pit of it, we were in the grinds of still the high prices of where the bull market was. You allowed us to have this platform and truly just get reps, right? I got up there, I spoke my mind, I was able to get better over time. You roasted me a few times, which is like, please, like we want to have a collaborative effort, and if that means like at first few times I was up there, I was like, yeah, no, we'll clean up this, clean up that. Like we want to make sure that you get your message across effectively. That's what Timmy does. And on top of that, guys, there's a lot of people you can support in this space. Okay. There's a lot of people who are doing this for different reasons. They may have money backing them. They may want to, take over the world, blah, 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 all this stuff. We should be supporting the organic builders, right? The people who are putting the efforts on their backs. And that's what Timmy does. He doesn't go out and pop bottles in New York. He doesn't, take elaborate trips. He stays at home. He makes sure that we have platforms. He puts all this building on the back of his dollar, and he provides us with what will be the future for this NFT world. Timmy and I talk
I
all the
just got a
time. Right?
DM, by the way. Do you know that influencer, Shillin Villain?
I do not.
He's the largest NFT influencer in the whole community. He's the Solana guy that is up there, always yelling. He's very funny, and I like his stuff, but he's crazy. You guys know him or no?
I don't know. Anybody else?
I don't know. I just got a DM. I don't know if
Coin.
it's true or not, but someone just told me he just bought 2 Skirpy Towns or owns 2 Skirpy Towns or something. He's the number 1 NFT influencer. I didn't know that, and he hates every project ever. So that's true. That's awesome. I don't
Watch
know if it's
out. On the come up. Dave, go ahead.
Big love to Tim and the energy this guy's got's insane, but he does need more sleep. Otherwise, our platform won't be as good as it could be. Like, Tim, look after yourself, for the love of God. But no, before we move on to the next speaker, I just want to talk very briefly about Narb because he's had to leave. But no, Skirpy, everything you're doing is brilliant. I love the energy. I love the drive, and I love the fact that you want to provide the same platform that we all do in lifting people and giving them that opportunity. What they do with that opportunity is up to them, right? You can't make it for them, but you're giving them the opportunity, that starting base that is so hard to get into in the first instance. So no, you have our love, Tim. Thank you for the platform you're putting together, and I can't wait to see how it looks as a final product.
It looks great. I give you my word. I give you my word. Everyone in this space, no matter what you're expecting, it will be way more functional and way sicker than you think. Give you my word. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. It is like Foundation and Twitter and OpenSea and Twitch all in fucking one. It's sick. I give you my word. It's going to push the space so far forward. I'm not going to come out with the same thing everyone else does. Here's a new marketplace. Here's a new marketplace. We're buying NFTs. It's always the same. Where's the innovation? We need new products and new things to do with our NFTs and new places to explore. So build a community for free there. It's not token gated, right? Doesn't matter what blockchain you're on. And it's really, most importantly, the layer 2 solution for these marketplaces. So I didn't even talk about that, but these marketplaces lack a social feature. They don't have social interactions on them. It's basically just buy. So we're going to lay over all of these marketplaces on all of these different blockchains and give you guys that social feature for all of these marketplaces. Yes, eventually we will be able to mint onto Skirpy, right? Which would be awesome. That would make the product more sticky. People will then come back to Skirpy. If you have a Polygon collection, you send, you mint it onto Skirpy. The next thing you know, you're going to Spaces, you're sending them to Skirpy. They go to Skirpy, they go, oh shit, this is awesome. And they mint the collection there, right? So it could be really sticky. And it's really important the user interface is really, 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 really good. So that's what I try to stress. And that's why it's taken so long. It's been almost a year now because the product has to be dynamite, right? If it's not dynamite, no one's going to give a fuck. So that's the plan. Give you guys the best product you have ever seen. And it's coming and it's real.
Heck yeah, Tim. Thank you so much for being with us here today. I do actually want to put something up that's like super random and it has nothing to do with what we're talking. Well, it does have something to do with what we're talking about. And we're going to give Dave a second here to talk because Narb had to leave. I was in the DMs. He said he had to run. I feel bad. But again, we're a little bit behind schedule. He said he'd join us next week, which is going to be great. I'm going to give Dave a second on that. One thing I did just find, I just got followed by a fake Skirpy Town on Twitter, and they're redirecting to a link that does not look good. So if everyone can, again, listen to this and not just blindly click things, jump into this profile here and report the crap out of it. Okay, everyone, we got 100 people in this space. Report the crap out of this Twitter account. Get it taken down. It's a fake Skirpy Town. It's Skirpy Town NFT. It just looks like it's full of crap. Tim, you can tell me if it's wrong, but please report, block, do all the necessary things. Let's break Twitter with all the reporting that we can get in here, so this gets taken down. That'd be really appreciated. And again, Timmy, thank you for what you provide me. I can't give you enough love for the platform, and I feel at this point we're teaching each other stuff, right? I heard you pitch in the Ape Spaces yesterday, and you spoke on what Polygon was saying, and those are some things that we've shared in the education bases together. So I appreciate you giving.
I am having problems though with people being confused. Like I'm not going to lie to you. This is the Polygon.
Never would have guessed.
I'm having a ton of issues with people being like, question on how do I direct deposit Polygon to my wallet? I've hooked up my wallet and switched from ETH to Poly, but I'm trying to just buy it with a card. I'm like, you can on MetaMask. I'm trying constantly to tell these people it's hard. There needs to be an easier way.
Yeah, and I 100% transparency. It's going to take time, right? It's going to take time, and I think in a lot of other places, like I'm in Ohio, I can buy Matic directly on my MetaMask, but I know that you're in New York, so you're not going to be able to do that, right? Like that's like the lockdown area for crypto and all these things. So in general, guys, it's going to get more effective. It's going to get more transparent. It'll get more accessible, but it's going to come with time, right? And so thank you for just continuing to bang the drum in the right way, get these things out to the people, because again, if those people believe in the statement following the money, they'll take the jump in the education. They'll challenge themselves to be better in the crypto sphere, and they'll make sure that they can do that with a little bit more effectiveness. So I want to kick it over to Dave really quickly. Dave, I want you to speak on a few things that NARB gets involved with. I know that he could speak on them in details, but in general here, he's going to come back next week and give us some more on that. But take it away.
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight him to everyone's attention, really. He's someone that really focuses on promoting the news behind the ecosystem. He's someone that I've met recently through One Planet. Hopefully Edwin will get an opportunity to pop up and say something about them before we close, and Matic Man as well. I knew GP from Matic News from a while ago. But these connections are big, and there's new people to meet through these people as well, and I just think it's important for us to have people like NARB who does focus on the news. I'll share updates on my Twitter, but I share hundreds of things on my Twitter. How can you see the Polygon news that I share? It's almost impossible unless you're paying really close attention. So to have a real focused point for the community that is Polygon updates, Polygon news, and good feel as well, like good vibes around Polygon, like promoting and talking about all of the good aspects is really important for us who are creating primarily on Polygon. And again, like everyone said, like Polygon's the home for us because of the accessibility and affordability, but it's not where we're going to be forever. And this technology is about interoperability. But right now, you want to focus on Polygon news, then NARB's the guy to go and do it. The Matic News, the Matic Man, these are people that focus as their accounts generally, specifically on Polygon, the Polygon ecosystem, and the news that's coming from it. So NARB, go follow NARB, keep an eye out on him, and I'm really interested to hear what he's got to say to introduce himself to everyone a bit better next week.
100%, my friend. Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to do. And again, Dave mentioned about 5 other people who can't be here. There's a reason why we're going to do this next week, right? Because there's still people that are building in Polygon with more resources. So we're going to expand on this over the weeks. We're going to get more people in here. We're going to keep juicing up our numbers. If we're doing 100 on week 1, hoo-wee! Hope everyone's ready for what week 2, 3, 4, 17 have to offer, because it's going to just keep building on top of great people. And I want everyone to have an avenue to be here, right? To build, to grow, to talk about the ideals of what Polygon is, to get freaking educated on what Web3 is all about here. So I appreciate that. I'm going to kick over to
Wait, Deturians, one note, just so you guys know, like the first 10,000 I gave away, if I didn't do it on Polygon, if I did that on Ethereum, it would have cost me $40,000. And since I did it on Polygon, it cost me like, I don't know, $100 or something. So just right there alone, just think about that.
I mean, it's just a matter of time. Like you're saying, these groups like Starbucks, these groups, that are onboarding into the Polygon ecosystem, Disney, all these people.
That wouldn't have cost me $40,000. That would have cost the people that were minting $40,000.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what you saved people, right? And so, like you're saying, all these reward programs, they're not going to want to engage with direct ETH if they're having to, number one, use all their money on gas. Number 2, hurt the environment a ton. And number 3, like, now you have this now you have this NFT that can't really do much, where if in a Polygon ecosystem, it can interact with the blockchain more, and it's not going to kill them as far as more gas on top of it, or not accessibility through whatever reward system it is or whatever game they're building. It's the way, right? It's the future. It's the now. It's whatever you want it to be, but we need to continue to bang this drum, and that's why we're here, right? 100 people in our space here today. Thank you all for spending some time. Tap into Scurpy. If you don't have a Scurpy.com account, you're freaking crazy. You need to make sure you're into that, because what they're going to do is just transfer the entire database over to their new UI, and make sure everyone has these resources that they're looking for in the NFT space. So, Timmy, thank you so much for, number 1, providing us the resources and providing the platform, but number 2, just being a great human and now a great friend of mine. So thank you for that again. We're going to kick over to another person who's been hanging out with us for a little bit now. He's one of those innovators in the space. He's somebody that has a lot of resources on his side. And he's on top of that, just a great human and somebody that I've connected with on a really nice level recently. And it's Tony, the Matic Man himself. How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, Neil, man, I, for one, am so glad that this thing has gone long. I am here in Beijing, China, and they just had a big party meeting 2 weeks ago, and they've been blocking the VPNs for like the whole time. So I tried for an hour and a half to get connected. You can't connect here in China to any Western media without a VPN. And so I was about to give up, and finally my VPN connected. I was so happy it was still going. And man, I am excited about this space. I know you and I, Dave, and others have talked about this is like a dream, what's happening right before our eyes. All of these Polygon influencers, these big players in the ecosystem together in a space. And it's like the dream team, man. Neil, Coin, Dave, Polygon Alliance is such a big part of what's going to happen in the future with the NFT space and so many other areas. And then Narb, of course, was here, his connections and just who he is as a person. And, now with him working as a marketing head or marketing lead for Polygon Village and then One Planet. I don't know if that's Edwin here in this space, but man, this is, you've put the dream team together. Neil, thank you for putting, and Dave and Coin, thank you guys for hosting this. And man, I need a monster also. It's 3 a.m. now here in Beijing, China. Maybe I need one of those monsters as well, Neil. But man, I love Polygon, and I'm so excited that I can be one of the Polygon people. And again, no shade, throwing no shade on other blockchains, but we try to support our partner projects when they mint and try to mint NFTs. And some of them are on Ethereum, and it's always such a difficult thing to example. A couple of weeks ago, one of our partner projects minted their NFTs were at the time about $47 in ETH. And at that particular time they were going to mint, I was going to have to pay like $80 in gas fees. And then it finally I was able to mint one of their NFTs for like $49 in gas fees. It costs more than the NFT itself. So I'm glad we have a resource like Polygon where we can mint like less than a penny. And someone mentioned it's going to be like the credit card of the future. And I think that's very possible. But we are here, during a difficult time in the crypto space, and in particular with NFTs. I know Edwin from One Planet released an article from Cointelegraph about like the current state of the NFT market. And I just released an article just a few minutes ago on Matic News. I called it Surviving Winter because, Neil, as I talk to different founders of projects, there's been some discouragement. There's been even some depression as, we go to men. You've put in like thousands of hours. You've been in countless spaces. Your core team's excited. Your community's excited. And the mint doesn't go as anticipated. And a lot of founders, a lot of core team members have been discouraged as I've been in the space. And so I hope you'll get a chance to read that article, Surviving Winter. It was really spurred also. I had last week, one of my dear friends, his 16-year-old son took his own life. And so it's a difficult time. And I'm so glad if I were to say one thing, how to survive winter is make sure you have good people around you. We hosted a space. I think Dave actually popped in that space as well. He, one of the people, and I mentioned Dave in the article. I really appreciate what he's doing with Polygon Alliance and just in the mental health space. He's such an encouragement. But surround yourself with the right people is so important. And having the safety net when you fall makes all the difference in the world. Neil, I know you're behind. Let me just say a word about the crypto crew. We are excited. We had a slow start to our mint, but I love our core team. I love their energy. I love their enthusiasm. And man, we're pressing on. We're in the next few weeks going to launch the crew token. We've been in talks with QuickSwap, and we're going to launch that token. We've been talking to private investors. We've had a good amount of Matic already committed in this private token sale. And then we're going to have a pre-sale of the token as well. So we're really excited. You'll be seeing some news in the next week or two about a launch on QuickSwap of the crew token. And something that really is unique about our smart contracts with the crypto crew NFTs is we have something we're calling NFT-Fi. The first wave of NFTs was the Amazing Art stage, or the JPEG jungle, if you will. the second wave is the unbelievable utilities, like, people realize it has to be more than art. There needs to be like some benefits for your holders, like a metaverse experience or maybe IRL events or a play to earn game. But now there's this third wave, this third stage in the evolution of NFTs, what I call nifty NFT-fi, and this melding of fun with finance, this DeFi element. And so people that mint a Crypto Crew NFT, and we've got to do a better job of articulating it. It comes with a claim for 20,000 Crew tokens. So if you hold the NFT for 6 months, over the course of 6 months, it will emit 20,000 Crew tokens. And then at the end of 6 months, if you choose to stake it for another 6 months, it will then emit 20,000 more Crew tokens. So if you keep the NFT for a year, at the end of the year, you'll have 40,000 Crew tokens is built into the smart contract. Right now, the 20,000 Crew tokens right now would be equivalent to like 30 Matic. So at the end of the year, you would have 60 Matic in Crew tokens. So we're really excited about the NFT-fi that we're releasing. We're getting ready to release Crypto Crew merchandise. We're pushing forward with the Crypto Crew DAO. We've also decided that we're going to have a period of time, maybe for 2 weeks, when we have a discounted price on the Crypto Crew NFTs. We're going to reduce the mint price from 50 Matic to 35 Matic. For those who've already minted an NFT, we don't want to penalize them, in essence, by offering now at a lower price. Everyone who's already minted, we're going to send them an additional Crypto Crew NFT. We're targeting 50 partnerships by the end of the year. We're glad Datorians is one of those. We've been in talks with Dave about some things as well. We've got a lot of marketing initiatives. We're getting ready to release Chapter 1 of the Crypto Crew saga, and that'll come out later this week. We're going to then talk about Bitman will be Chapter 2, and we're going to focus on him during the month of November. We've restructured our Discord community, trying to make it more active. And yeah, all of our roadmap plans, the game, the comic book, the metaverse are still in place. We may have to delay those a little bit, but we're still pushing forward. We're still excited. And man, the best is yet to come, I think, for all of our projects. And Neil, man, this is so exciting that this is taking place tonight. And I'm glad that it was delayed so I could jump in. Thank you for what you're doing, Neil, Dave. Much love for you and Polygon Alliance, those spaces you do every day. Coin. If that's Edwin, man, you know how we feel about you and One Planet. Thank you for allowing me to jump up here, Neil.
My mute button just fought with me for a second there. But Tony, thank you. Right. Thank you for being the human that you are. The very first thing that you did when we had when I reached out and I don't even know how we stumbled upon each other, to be honest. I think I was just like doing some searching on the in the Twitter, right, on the old Twitter, and searching like Matic and searching Polygon and all these different things. And I saw you, and we connected in the background. And I said, listen, like we need to bridge this gap, right? And of course, the very first thing that you said is, oh, do you know Dave Swingbank? And I was like, yes, we know Dave. Of course we know Dave, and that's how it is around here, right? Everyone knows each other a little bit, but we want to make sure to bridge this connection, right? Get this connective tissue in a really good spot. And the very first thing that you did was, let's jump on a phone call, like right away, right? Like we need to jump on a phone call. We need to have a real conversation. We need to make sure that, good people are supporting good people. And that's how I connect with humans out here is those authentic conversations here as well. So I appreciate you being with us here today. I'm glad that we were able to get you up here. I'm best of luck getting the VPNs and all those things worked out. I know it's going to be a struggle for a while here, but I know that you were back in the States. Now you're back back home, back away. I'm not really sure what to say there, but moral of the story is you're an amazing human. You're building something awesome with the Crypto Crew. I encourage everybody jump up into the pin tweets. They're hosting spaces. I posted up the Crypto Winter article as well, so everyone can tap into that, read that, review things in there too. And again, the entire goal here in our spaces is to ensure people have these different avenues to grow, collab, connect, and what the Matic Man does is amazing, right? So I encourage everyone to do that here as well. Thank you so much, Tony, for spending some time with us here today. We have 2 more speakers that I want to touch base with, and then we're going to make sure that we have a little bit of time. We're 10 minutes behind schedule. We're actually probably more like 30 minutes behind schedule, but the moral of the story is we're going to probably wrap up our space right around 3:30 here today. Our goal was to go from 12 to 3. Again, if you're requesting up right now and I'm not letting you up right away, I am very sorry. We have a set schedule here, and I want to make sure that we're sticking to it. On top of that, my wife just texted me and said, so is there going to be time for us to run errands and maybe get some dinner? And I said, yeah, absolutely. But I want to make sure that I'm being honest with everybody here in the space. And if you weren't able to come up this week, please jump into my own Twitter account, which is @BigNilCollect. It's actually not in the space right now because I am just making sure I'm running some safety protocols on my end. I'm actually running my, while I'm up here, I'm actually running my malware software to make sure I don't have any security issues, because that's always something I'm worried about with NFTs and links and crypto and all those things. So I'm running that to make sure I'm nice and clean and tidy while we have a little bit more space, time in the space here. But jump into my DMs. We can communicate about what looks like next week will be. And with that being said, I'm going to kick things over to Dave. He's going to talk about his amazing project with the Crypto Goons and everything that they're building there as well. And then we'll wrap it up with One Planet and everything that they've got going on their end too.
Thank you, Neil. I'm so excited about Polygon Alliance. It completely slipped my mind to talk about Goons. And Goons is like the reason. Goons and Cartridge Punks, like Matty and Chris, are the reason that I'm still in this space. They're the people that gave me hope when I'd lost a chunk of money and more belief than I'd lost money. So, I'm going to be wrapped into Goons. It's going to be a part of what I do forever. That's like my driver. What we want to do is bring sort of storytelling to decentralized a lot more. You think canon and non-canon when you think fantasy, sci-fi verses, or whatever it happens to be. And I really like the idea of like just completely eradicating that barrier, and allowing people to come and create in the Gooniverse that we start building, but that we finish building with a load of different creators. So that's one aspect of it. And we've got lots of plans to sort of attack like a collectible aspect around that as well, in terms of some of the NFTs that we're putting out, but in terms of physical merch that we've already created. Chris is making 3D printed stuff like key rings that we're going to be getting out to holders soon. We own Sandbox. Sleepy Pirate's building our Sandbox land, and it's insane. You should see what this guy's doing. It's taking us longer to get these things out. Again, unfunded, unpaid. Everything's like from passion and love, and it's fantastic where we've got to, but it does mean these things take a bit more time. So instead of just opening Sandbox like full like originally planned, as soon as we've got the aspect of the game working, we're going to be opening that to holders. And then Goons Wars and Brian, what Brian's doing is like absolutely insane. Like the way that he's building the game out on his own game engine, essentially, to create different mechanics to allow people to have like the operability potentially of like Pokemon battle simulators, but with Dungeons and Dragons kind of like mechanics on the algorithm, is fantastic. We're working with an organization called Intergalactic Galaxy, which is trying to bridge a Web 2, Web 3 game on that as well, Web 2, Web 3 gaming communities as well. So they've got reasonable sized Call of Duty, Fortnite, those type of communities, and they're working with a few Web3 projects. So that's really exciting opportunities. And you should be checking out what Bry's doing as well behind the scenes, in terms of Power Apps and in terms of smart contract stuff. I haven't had a chance to catch up. I've been ill for a little while, so I don't know where he's at. But some of the stuff's absolutely incredible. And as it comes to market, it's going to give a lot of people a lot of opportunities to push forward with what they're doing. Just super excited at just being like linked with that and being able to help Bry put these things in place, especially around the gamification, because that's something that a lot of people could use and utilize, and is a service that could help Bry out a lot with his brand. So yeah, that's kind of the very top down view at Goons. Again, it's so much stuff to be wrapped up and finalized, and this quarter for me, personal brand, Crypto Goons, Polygon Alliance, is all about trying to tie it down and be ready to go next year properly. So one little cheeky last thing from me: go sign up to my blog. It's at the top of my profile. Click on my PFP. It's real, it's human. Occasionally I put some analytical stuff about this space, but more than that, it's about how to manage with being you, and how to help yourself, and about how to grow and communicate is the idea behind it, and let you know who I am, right? I stand here and talk a lot. It's only fair that you get some insight into what drives me and what motivates me. Crypto Games Polygon Alliance, my blog. That's it. Thank you for all the help today, and I love everyone coming along. Anyone that replied to me that I've tried to help get here, I really appreciate you saying yes, and excited to keep pushing these relationships forward and seeing how we can continue to grow as a community.
Thank you for that, Dave. That means the world. And obviously, guys, if you all have tapped in with Dave before, you know what his motives are. You know what his goals are. It's community. It's organic nature. It's everything that I've been speaking about for the, my Lord, 3.25 hours that we've been hanging out here together. And but what I will say about Dave is he's always extending his hand, right? He's always extending his hand to encourage people to learn, continue to collaborate. And again, that's what Web3 is all about for me. So please tap into Dave, tap into what the Goons are building. Everything is being here done organically off the backs of great people. So it will take time, it will take effort, but all of us together moving in the same direction, we know that has massive power. We know what that can mean for our community. So Dave, thank you for all you do. And I don't need to say anything else because it's all been said. So we are going to go to 2 more people here. I lied. I said 2 last time, but we're going to go to 2 more people because I want to make sure that my friend over gets a little bit of space. But I do want to kick it over to the amazing people at One Planet. I think that Dave can probably lead into it a little bit better than I, but bridging over to Polygon, connecting with new people, the marketplace that they're building, it's amazing things across the world, across the board here. So I'm going to kick it over to the great people over at One Planet.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me up here and meeting a bunch of you Polygon people here. My name's Edwin. I'm the community manager with One Planet. I'm usually the one hosting spaces or participating in spaces, but we do have a pretty big team. We're 25 full-time people right now. I am the only one that's in the US. The rest of my team is in South Korea. We have an office there that the Matic Man has actually visited himself. But there's 3 things that I'll mention here real quick today. The first is that there's a long story about us, but the short story is we first started to build in Terra. That was in last year, November, December. We held a competition for projects to kind of let us know what they were building, and we helped incubate them. And in January, we began to launch projects until May when Terra collapsed. Then we decided to migrate over to Polygon with the support of Polygon Studios and the foundation. We felt that out of every other blockchain that was out there, Polygon had the best to offer from a blockchain mechanism perspective. And also just the relationship that it had to Ethereum was something that we had a long-term kind of vision as well ourselves. We believed in Ethereum and Polygon together would eventually help onboard a bigger demographic of people into the ecosystem. So that's kind of our short story. There's a lot more to it, but just want to keep it there for now. Now that we're here in Polygon, the second thing is that we have built our marketplace already. It is live. There are 71, 72 collections right now. Most of them are from the projects that migrated from Terra, but we have onboarded some of the Polygon native projects already. And that's one thing that we are going to continue to do. We are working on supporting the ERC 1155 contracts right now. So once we are able to fully engage with the projects that have those smart contracts, we'll begin to onboard more of those projects as well. And then the third thing is our Launchpad. So the first project that will be using that is going to be Derby Stars, which is another project that migrated from Terra. They will be having a free mint on November 11th. And then later on in that month, we are aiming to begin launching projects at least 2 a week to start our Launchpad. And so the first project that will be using that is going to be Derby Stars, some of those which is another project that initially are Terra based that kind of migrated their community along with us. And then some of them are going to be just Polygon native projects that built here. But eventually, we're making that transition to fully be Polygon native. Right now, we're still helping out a lot of the Terra community just build their own kind of footprint here in Polygon as well, and helping onboard as many as we can. So far, we've had really good feedback from what we've been doing, so we're grateful for that, and we're always interested to hear what the community has to say, any features, anything related to how we can continue to support creators, and then at the same time, investors and collectors, right? Just to make it easier for them. But that's it. I mean, again, there's a lot more that I could say, but we are hiring Price, our CEO. If you check his profile on Twitter, it's Price, PRYCE_CHO. Send him a DM. He was interested to talk to anyone that would want to work, around Polygon and One Planet. I also host Twitter Spaces on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. UTC from One Planet. So feel free to join us there as well.
Thank you. I went for everything. I had to unplug the headphones and plug into an outlet now. So that's why I had a little bit of a delay here. I want to make sure this space stays alive for the end of it here. So I appreciate you spending some time with us here today. I know there's always scheduling things, 1,000 things going on. I know you had a team meeting earlier today, but the goal here is to provide avenues for other people to connect. And I'm sure everyone's ears perked up a little bit when they said, oh, Web3 jobs, right? Like that's what we're looking for. We're looking to make this thing a full-time avenue for a lot of our humans out here, because we believe this is going to be necessary, right? Almost like a requirement when we talk about what can you dump your passion into. If your passion becomes your full-time thing, that is where life begins, right? In my opinion. So I want to make sure everyone taps on what One Planet's doing here. I think it's amazing stuff, and I really appreciate you selecting, Polygon from bridging over, because I'm sure that wasn't an easy selection. I'm sure there would have been a lot of different avenues that you all could go in. But I know that you listened to your community. They gave their opinions, and when you all selected our blockchain, we're here to open you up with open, to welcome you all in with open arms, because we believe that the resources and what you all providing are really going to be helpful in the long term. So thank you so much for spending some time with us here today. I did pin up to the top the Halloween event that you all have going on. That's amazing things on that. If you have any other information you want to pin up to the top, feel free to do so as well. But just thank you for spending a little bit of time on Saturday with us, and just giving us a little bit more knowledge. That's why we're all here, to educate our space, to continue to grow, and this is what you all are about. So thank you for that. All right. With that being said, we have one amazing person here that I want to make sure to highlight, and I've said his name already here, and he's one of my co-hosts. I want to make sure that my good friend gets a little bit of light here in our space as well, because he, number one, is an amazing artist. I call him the most underrated artist in the entire Web3 space and the NFT community, because, again, he's on Polygon. He's on a little bit of a smaller chain, and I ultimately think that this man is moments, seconds, milliseconds away from blowing up. He'll be attending Art Basel. He'll be down at Metaverse Miami, doing amazing things in the Polygon ecosystem. So I'm going to introduce the one, the only, Coin Laundry.
Thank you, Neil. I do want to extend my flowers to you. This space has been amazing. I want to say thank you to everyone who participated, who just sat there and listened, and anyone that has come in and out of this space. Let's fucking go, right? All right, so Coin Laundry. I originally started as a physical artist, traditional space. I am the head and the heart behind Coin Laundry. We started as a one-of-one project based on like social commentary, satire, and social analysis through art. I would say think along the lines of fresh designs and dirty money. We quickly poured our heart and soul into this Polygon space, and that's why this particular Twitter Spaces has been so electric for me. I am fired up. It's not just the monster. I met a massive amount of amazing people, both here and IRL. The community is what helps us drive to build this whole world of Coin Laundry, and essentially to expand my own community's access to integrate crypto and NFTs into real life use cases. it's on the surface. It just looks like some silly pop art, but we are grinding every day to bring this to a some sort of real life platform. I'm fumbling over my words because I don't want to give out too much information. You know, under promise, over deliver, right? I do want to shout out my own Coin Laundry community that's in here. I am forever thankful and grateful for all of you in here. If you want to follow me around, please do. I'm always on Twitter. You can send me DMs. You can connect to our community through my link in bio. We are always welcome to have more people jiving with us, washing that money, and keeping her moving. So thank you guys all for coming out. It has been a pleasure. Just up in that pinned tweet there, thank you, Neil, for pinning it, is just a list of all the things that we are wrapping up and starting up going into 2023. It's going to be a killer year, and we are building it on Polygon.
Thank you for that, Coin. And I want everyone to understand what me and Jason have been connecting on a lot of different levels. It's somebody that inspires me. It's somebody that continues to, churn my marketing mind, right? He's somebody that's very smart in the space. He's been exploring different ways to grow, to brand, to reach out into the digital world, right? How can we bring the significance of what art means, right? Starting with, the spray paint art and everything that you were doing and the message you were sending there, and now bringing it over into the Web3 NFT world. The art is amazing. The goals are amazing. And what you're building is going to be a galactic monster. And we all know that at some point. But I am going to make one request. When next week comes around, I'm going to have to hear from Charlie.
Yeah, he's getting his voice ready. He is brushing up on some new language, I guess you could say. But yeah, Charlie has been busy. He's been ordering new washing machines. He's been sweeping the floor of Coin Laundry, like very literally, for the past couple months, and he is going to come out of semi-retirement very, very soon.
Thank you for that, Coin. Oh, I'm so excited. And listen, I don't say those things because I want to force these things to happen. I say these things because I want to encourage my good friends who are out here building for the right reasons. And Coin was one of those people that I got inspired with just by the most flawless pitch that I've ever heard in my entire life, right? It inspired me to make sure I refine myself each and every other day, the characters, the involvement, all these things. It really is one of those things that I truly am amazed by, and I want to make sure that we continue to push in those right directions. So thank you, Coin, for spending time with us here this afternoon, whatever time it is anymore. And thank you for spending your efforts for what you're building in the background. Because you're putting things on the side, you're texting me and then making sure that we're staying on topic. All these things are efforts that I need to be reeled in a little bit with, because as everyone knows, I get off kilter sometimes and my passion leads me, and then we do 1,000 things. So with that being said, I want to thank everybody for being here today. We've been rocking for 3.5 hours together consistently over the 70 mark. Now we're hanging out with 77 as we wrap up, and that's beautiful, right? I'm going to look back on all these times and make sure that everyone understands that we've done some amazing things in this space, but I encourage everybody, this is not the end, right? This is not the end of our collaborative efforts. This is not the end of what we're doing here already. We are going to push this space into the frickin' stratosphere. Over the next few weeks, we'll be putting out this tweet literally right after I get out of here. Saturday night it'll go out every single week. I want everyone to motivate their community members to engage, right? We are powerful because of the people behind Polygon. And if we continue to motivate each other, if we continue to put in, now this is the key word. Ready, everyone? Consistent effort. Consistent is the key word there. We need people to show up each and every day to put their PFPs in profiles. Guys, being 100% transparent, sometimes I'm at work. Sometimes I can't actually give words to the spaces that are in there, but I toss my profile into every single one of our spaces so that people know that I am supporting them. If all I get out of their space is a PFP in it, thank you. Thank you for making sure your community knows where to go in the Twitter sphere, because it can get very murky out there, and you'd rather have them in conversations like these than in other conversations that we know happen in spaces where people are arguing, people are yelling at each other. That's great content. That's this, that's that. That's fine. Moral of the story is, again, I'm going to triple, quadruple, septuple, whatever that next word is up there, to the community. Getting educated is WAGMI, right? Getting really deadly with these tools is the why of Web3. If you're here to flip, thank you very much for being here. I challenge you, take that next step. Understand why these ecosystems are here to stay, and understand why these humans have chosen to stay on our network here. And on top of that, why these humans deserve your support. So that's my last thing I'm going to say on that. I appreciate everyone for spending some time with me today. If anybody has any closing remarks and reactions, feel free to toss a quick hand up and say something as we wrap up here. But again, I did kind of preface it. We have I got the wife thing that I want to make sure to take her out to dinner and have a good night. Because, our real lives people, they matter a ton to us, obviously, but also allowing us to extend ourselves to these, my wife calls them these Twitter spheres, right? It's like this atmosphere that we all float around with together. I kind of like that verbiage. But moral story is, we're going to wrap up with a few more comments here, and Jay's going to kick us off.
I'd just like to say, be honest and always tell the truth, because it accelerates the inevitable. If you hold back, or you don't say how you feel, or whatever that may be, it just delays the inevitable. And we like acceleration in this space, don't we? So be honest, be true to yourself, and respect each other.
Thank you for that, Jay. And if you think about the ideals of blockchain, the transparency, all those things, like, that is what it is, right? You need to be leading in the forefront of what the purpose behind all of this is. Because like Jay said, eventually it's going to catch up, guys. People understand when people aren't being their authentic self. People understand when you're not leading with the right why. But I truly believe that more here than anywhere else in this Polygon community, Polygon's a blockchain, that's fine. Polygon's a person. Polygon's people. Polygon's each and every one of you out here now. Because you've lived in those ideals. Maybe because nothing's been given to you, right? Nothing's been given to any of us in this space. And I promise you, everything, when we do get what we're deserved and when that is earned, will feel that much more sweeter. I think that's a good place to end. I appreciate all of you spending some time with us here today. If any of my co-hosts have anything else to wrap up to, feel free to jump in here. I'll wrap us up with a quick little song. But I truly believe in each and every one of you. Continue to inspire each other, continue to connect with each other, motivate each other to continue to grow and be better. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see where we're all at right around the corner. I'll see you all next week for the State of Polygon NFTs, Volume 2. Continue this momentum throughout your entire weekend. Take a second to yourself, grab some water, go touch some grass, as they say out here. And yeah, continue to be great people, Polygon. I love you all.
I need to jump in on the music, Neil, before we close out. If you'd have told me a year ago when we started the spaces, that the follower counts that we had in this room right now were possible, I'd have laughed you like out of blockchain. Like, I genuinely would have. Like, me with 26,000 followers, before I count what's happened to the rest of you guys. So, no, you're all phenomenal. Pat yourselves on the back. But don't let it ever stop you from pushing forward. We've done great things. We can do better things. And we can do them together. And this buying back into this community mentality, this ethos of working together, of pushing ourselves as a group, is something that really, really excites me, and something that, obviously, you all know me. I've been pushing for it for over a year now. Let's keep it up, let's maintain it, and let's see what we can do in another year.
Amen, Dave, right? It's that consistent mentality that we need, right? I've been saying this all week. It's head down grinding, eyes up on what everyone else is doing, right? And those two factors will take us extremely far. So again, thank everyone for coming out to our first volume here. Again, encourage everybody to pass on this knowledge to somebody that doesn't know yet, right? We want people to get hella deadly in this space. That's what we're going to be doing every week. And I'll see you all next week for Volume 2. Don't you know, pump it up. You got to pump it up. Don't you know, pump it up.